It's technology,
cheers.
But because it's
cheers.
That's funny.
Oh, yeah, cheers. We started off.
Yeah.
I'm already like.
We were actually just reading the chat, but the cheers is also pretty good.
Cool.
All right, so what's up, guys? I'm Random Frank P. Back with, I guess, the 4th episode of the Random Radio Show podcast. It's still like an up in the air kind of name. We never really settled on anything.
Stick with that.
Because we only do it like once every 4 or 5 months. So we started the first podcast a year ago on spring break. So that was like beginning of March of last year. Finally got John back. But again, I'm Random Frank P. We'll go around the table, introduce ourselves.
Which way we going?
You.
Me first? What's up? I'm Andy. How's it going? Longtime friend of Frank and Billy and John here. Yeah, I don't remember my Twitter handle again.
You gotta change that, man.
We'll put it in the description for you guys.
I change it all the time.
I'm Billy.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I just cut you off. I'm Billy.
That's fine.
That's it. I'm John.
We got you on. So you guys are pretty familiar with Billy and Andy. They've been in the last 3 podcasts. John's been busy for the past 2, so he's returning for the 4th. And this is the traditional podcast crew. Like, we've been doing podcasts since like freshman year of college. We did them for like the first year, only like 4, I think, maybe like 3 or 4,
Yeah.
and then never did them again. But here we are, video podcast. Got some cool topics to talk about, kind of. But yeah, so it's been a while. Last time we did one was right before New Year's, and that was right before I left for CES. When we had Troy on the show.
Oh, that was...
The comments for that video were actually
They were so good. Everybody got ragged on. I got a lot of hair comments. Everyone was like, "Oh, Troy's a stoner."
Yeah, Troy's a stoner. Someone called him like a pedophile and shit.
He was literally just sitting there. Yeah.
Troy's an awesome
He's
dude.
got big hair, but someone just congratulated you on the 200K.
Oh,
by the
thank
way.
you. Yeah,
that's
today.
sick.
We hit that this morning, so thank you very
I
much.
saw that when I woke up. I was like, hell yeah.
Yeah, Troy's hilarious. And I actually, it was going to be one of the topics, but you tweeted it, like, I think it was yesterday, how his tweets are just gold.
Oh, they're so...
Every time
You
Troy
should
tweets something.
put his stuff in the description because, like,
Oh, yeah.
he is just comedy that he never gets any likes or anything, and they're so good.
I always read him, like, in his voice. And it's just like, he has definitely quality tweets.
Oh, man.
It's like kind of like stand-up comedy, but like in Troy fashion.
All right. I'm gonna follow.
Yeah, read some of his tweets.
let's
The one
see.
like last week about him like talking
So I gotta find him.
to like
so
a
keep talking
doctor or
about
something,
someone. And then
about him being like grandfathered into his data network. It was just so funny.
It's just Troy Shatter.
Troy.
Not T-O,
I
Troy.
can't spell. Troy.
Anyway,
But yeah, that was almost that was over 3 months ago, right before CES. While we're getting this booted up, CES was pretty awesome. I do have a little CES like vlog on my channel you guys can check out. It's kind of like a recap of the 3-4 days, but CES was a great time. It was a weird experience because I've never been on my own across the United States. But it was just really cool to go out there and get some like business and work done. Meet up with a bunch of YouTubers that I've been friends with for a while, and meet people that I've been looking up to for years. Like meeting Team Crispy was just really crazy because I've been watching them and idolizing them for a long time. Hanging out with Linus Media Group, getting dinner with them was bizarre. It's really awesome. Got some good tweets?
I don't understand it, but it's got it's so from Troy Shatter. It says me : I felt that the role of Screech unjustly denied future roles for Dustin Diamond, 911 operator : I'm at problems with the victim, sir.
Let me find the one because it's every now and then. Like he doesn't tweet too often, but when he does, it is just gold.
This is like, what is it?
I will arrive to class freshly shot out of a cannon next week.
What does that mean?
Going to one up the scooter rides and rollerbladers on campus by street luging to class. Bet you no one's done that before. I'm trying to find that one. Troy probably has no idea. We're just glorifying.
That's okay.
Oh, job interview. Okay. You stated under your career accomplishments on your resume you were a grandfather into your unlimited mobile data. Me. Yeah. Guy. Nice. This is like Troy is some quality humor. It's just like
I want him to write a book.
he was only here for half the podcast last time because it was like sleeting when we were doing it.
he didn't get to shine either.
Yeah. It's probably kind of awkward for him just having like a camera shoved in his face, but it was good stuff. Got another good one?
Friend. So how'd it go? Me. I made a move on her. Friend says. And? I took her queen, leaving her king wide open. Rookie mistake on her part, to be honest. That's amazing.
So I've got some topics, old-fashioned, written down in the hand here.
Throwback.
Couldn't find any loose leaf. Got them too. But the first thing that's been coming up lately, the past like week or so, we've been hearing it a lot with some of the new consoles and stuff, is Well, first off, like a month ago, there was news that Xbox was going to be putting or making the change more towards like a modular system in the future. So obviously moving more towards like the PC kind of, I guess, style for their console where you can upgrade and stuff over time for the next Xbox. And just a few days ago, we got news that the PS4 and PlayStations, they're going to be putting out the PS4K or the PS4.5. And that's pretty much confirmed. We just don't know about like the details of it yet. We talked about it before the podcast and stuff, but like, it's interesting that a lot of games now can't run 4K, or they can't. No games can run 4K on consoles,
Right.
and a lot of games are struggling to even hit 1080p, let alone 60 FPS.
Yep.
Like a ton of games on Xbox still run like, what is it, 960 or some shit like that?
900p, something like that. And then
Which
it
again,
gets
upscale looks
up-resed.
fine,
It's
but
not
there's
a big
obviously
deal.
a hardware limit there.
Yeah.
And now they're trying to talk about putting out 4K.
I don't know.
I think it's pretty crazy. But
Silly.
remember when we were watching the Xbox conference here? Remember they promised 4K content on the Xbox One?
Yeah.
And they can barely hit 1080p.
But is it the Xbox One as the piece of hardware you're getting, or the Xbox One as a brand? Maybe that's the question we should be asking now.
I
Which
feel
is
like
kind
they
of a
were
bummer.
false advertising. Man.
Exactly. They're making promises that they're not quite being fully upfront about.
Yeah.
They hide these things in the back for a little while.
And that's obviously why they're not leading anymore. Xbox 360 blew PS4 out of the water because obviously the price was a lot more consumer friendly. Their sales were great, but PS4 is one of the best selling consoles of all time, and it's only been out for a little over a year.
Yep.
They're killing the Xbox One. I think the sales are like 4-1.
Are they still that much higher?
They are insane.
Because
yeah.
everyone I know has an Xbox One. That's what's weird.
Yeah.
But
then again, that's all our friends.
Yeah,
We're
it's
on
just
the
odd.
same ecosystem. Which I guess, like, when it comes down to it, it's like, who are you playing with? If it's your friends and you're all, none of us made the switch. I know a couple people that got both just because they're like, oh,
Yeah, like I had the PS4. I've played it maybe 5 times.
Yeah, exactly. So it comes down to what you want to play, who you want to play with. It's a console. You're not going to get like the best experience. You're just going to get a standard quality experience, which even in that regard, sometimes with network connectivity and like Billy has problems all the time playing Battlefront. And part of it's just location and internet service, but at the same time, like the game doesn't always run the way you want it to. Sometimes it's choppy here and there, and it shouldn't be. And it's like, what are we doing, guys?
The one thing that is always just questions, like what I question when I hear about this stuff is the 4K content. They do want to talk about pushing games towards 4K.
Right.
I believe last week Sony put out a press conference or a press release saying that they're banning games under 60 FPS.
wow.
Because with VR coming out, they're going to want 90 frames in VR. So anything below 60 is not going to be acceptable for them. But putting out a 4K console, which is supposed to be cheaper than the initial launch price of the PS4, I think it was like $400, and a slimmer body, which the PS4 is already marginally slimmer than the Xbox One.
Yeah.
Definitely a smaller form factor. But who is that going to be geared towards? 4K content. I think Netflix can push 4K. That's pretty much it.
Even though it's still highly compressed.
Right. Very.
Streaming
And I think
content.
there was like a graph that was like 1 in 10 households even have a 4K TV.
Yep.
And multiple
A true
TVs are
4K
in a
TV.
lot of households.
Yep.
So why are they going to put out a 4K console, capable 4K console, if games can't run at that yet?
Yeah.
Yes, it might be easier on PlayStation VR, but people don't have 4K TVs.
So what are you gonna use it for?
Right.
Like what's your output?
Like I don't have a 4K TV because nothing I have can run 4K. I mean, obviously my PC and 4K monitors are a different story.
Yeah.
But like digital cable, that runs at 1080i.
Yeah.
Even that looks pretty shitty.
Yeah.
I always thought it was funny around the Super Bowl when they were constantly promoting, Best Buy sales for 4K TVs. Super Bowl was shot and broadcast in 1080p.
Yeah.
So even if you had a 4K TV, you can't view it in 4K. TV's all 4K.
It's
games
just all,
are,
it's just all
1080.
upscaled. It's something that's on the marketing side, on the television side is, well, we got a Super Bowl coming up. Let's sell a couple of $3,000 TVs, to all these houses, get this 4K experience, which is, it's not native, so it's all falsified. It's all digitally, remastered on the fly, which tends to look like crap. So.
Yeah, and it all depends. Like if I can get a 4K
Relatively so.
TV and play
Sure, it's something
Xbox
beautiful.
One on it and have it look better, even though it's upscaled, like I wouldn't mind doing that. But it all depends. Like the monitor I have now, I forgot, it's like the 3440 by 1440. When I play 1080p games on that, like it still looks really great, even though it's a higher resolution monitor.
Yep.
So if they can actually have that so it doesn't look like pretty shitty on a 4K TV with it being like 900p resolution game,
Yeah.
that'd be cool. But I just don't think the 5 or the 4K PS4, it's going to be
worth it at the moment. Yeah.
Yeah.
It seems like it's sort of like a marketing move, a like temporal future-proofing move.
That's what I was going to say.
I want them to get there, which will be nice. But as you say, there's not content that's quite there yet. I think they're just preparing for it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because it will get there. It's just a matter of time.
Yeah. It's just how long. And with prices coming down, like it's already been like Xbox One came out in 2013, right? It's now 2016, so we got like about 2.5 years, almost 3 years into its life cycle. So that means the prices of the hardware that what they put in it then was cheaper. So now it's going to be even less to put in there now, so they can probably afford to, upgrade the system incrementally, whatever that means. But I think what they might be doing is saying, well, we have a problem with the hardware in the fact that the developers are having trouble getting this content to 1080p.
And the new PS4 is going to unlock another core for developers.
And yes, and hit that 60p mark, and then also support the VR at 1080p.
Right.
And then when we hit the 4K, whenever games start running natively at that, then we'll kind of be at this sort of struggle zone again. And then maybe we'll have to do another incremental update. Or maybe that's why Xbox is saying, well, let's get this thing onto the market that is potentially modular. And maybe PlayStation's just like,
I'm for
we
that.
feel we're confident in this next system that will be 4K native or whatever it is. So, but it is frustrating, at the same time, because they said all this stuff in the beginning. People invest in their console. Billy, you hopped on the, what was it? You hopped on Xbox One a little later than the rest of us. You contemplated that for a while. We're like, get it. And now this is coming out, so that's probably got to like burn you a little bit too.
Yeah, I mean, I've barely played my Xbox One, so it's just like, all right, well, now I got to buy a new one for the games I'm not going to play with you guys.
It'll probably be a while before the new Xbox comes out, because you look at I think it was a 7-year life cycle of the 360. Maybe even 8.
Yeah, it was
2006.
No, yeah, it was maybe 8 years.
I would say 8,
almost
yeah.
10. They were pushing a decade when the Xbox One was coming out.
Right.
Because it came out in 05.
05,
Yeah,
okay.
It came out.
So
I believe
9 years.
Yeah.
And I heard reports that they started working on the Xbox One after 4 years of the 360 even being out. So odds are they're getting close to working on the new Xbox already.
Right.
Even though it's going on 3 years.
Design concepts.
But if they already have the concept, if they said that they do want to go towards a modular system with the PC, they can probably push that out quicker. I don't think it's a good move on them, because you got to get the most out of the cycle.
Right.
And even though yes, PCs are becoming more affordable and they are so much stronger. And people probably in the comments, maybe not this video, but anywhere you go, there's going to be a console war.
Yeah.
PS4 versus Xbox and the PC master race. When it comes down to
It's
it,
always funny.
When it comes down to it, yes, PC 10 times out of 10 is going to beat any console. For the price, for the performance, it's just better. But for me, someone who has a PC, an Xbox One, and a PS4, I prefer an Xbox One, because I grew up playing it. Well, not an Xbox One, but I grew up with it, playing PlayStation actually. But once I got Xbox Live, all my friends had Xbox 360, so I went towards that. I have a PS4, I don't play it too much, and I have a PC. I'll play it every now and then, but I'm just more. It's easy for me to go on Xbox, talk to a few friends on Xbox Live, and just play there. I don't know where I was going with that. I kind of lost my train of thought along the way.
I don't know a lot of the hardware side of what's going to happen.
That sounds really off.
Right. Do you know
But I think it kind of seems like it's being talked about in a very drastic push. Like, they're not going to let games come through that aren't 4K.
Right.
But I think they're really kind of going to throw in this hardware that's capable for 4K only for the VR.
Right.
Oh, yeah, this will be a lot easier on.
Right.
So you're just going to buy a new PlayStation that has the 4K capability. So when you plug in your PlayStation VR, you're at high quality.
Right.
But then when you plug in your disc to play Destiny 2 in 10 years,
Yeah.
it's going to be 1080p.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I agree. That's the thing, is they're saying 4K, so it's something they can sell, rather than, this one will actually hit 1080p, with VR.
Right.
So I think it'll run all the stuff that we want now comfortably, and it'll be a lot easier to develop for, which I think is nice, because then we won't have to wait so long for these development cycles, even though games take forever to make now, just because there's so much content.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It still leaves a bad taste in my mouth, though, because at the same time,
A new console?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I just built a new computer, so it's
Exactly.
I'm stoked about that, and I'm using that, and it's gorgeous.
This entire console generation,
Don't wanna get into
there's
the
something
console.
about it. Like, I think it was rushed. They weren't ready.
Yeah.
Xbox. PS4, they kind of nailed it out of the launch.
Yeah.
They appealed to gamers. They have better hardware than the Xbox. I think Xbox kind of panicked. Definitely put out a lesser console with Don Matrick, whatever his name was.
Yeah.
He didn't give a shit about gamers, obviously, with him appealing more towards, like...
The lifestyle.
His
Yeah.
audience was a different market, I believe.
And that's why he's working
had a
on
different
Peggle right now.
vision.
I was gonna say,
It's a fun game.
I just feel very underwhelmed with the whole cycle.
Yeah.
Like, because that's why I didn't buy one for so long. Like,
Yeah.
and even now, like when I bought Battlefront, maybe that's not the best example of like a graphically like exciting game or whatever. But like when I play these new games, I'm like, I don't know. I remember being blown away. I remember when Gears of War came out for the 360, and I was like, "Holy shit! Like this is a whole new level." Like, and things just aren't like that anymore.
Right.
It's so incremental, and it's just upsetting. I don't know. Like,
Yeah.
it just doesn't feel as special as it used to be with each different console. Like,
It was kind of cool though, because you say that like the jump is, was a shock from like Xbox to Xbox 360, right? Or, like,
maybe not right
that
away,
generation.
but like pretty
Certainly
soon
not right
after.
away,
At this point,
Gears
it
was
should have
almost
already
a
have done
leech-
that.
Like
you know?
Gears was almost a launch title, right? Like
Yeah.
that was the thing. And it was like
pretty
there's,
close.
There's only a certain point. Like when they made Halo 3 and then Bungie released Halo Reach, they added like 3 times the amount of polygons within the same like generation of console, which is amazing. That's because developers got used to working with that piece of hardware and developing for it and making sure that they could improve it each time a game would come out, making their engines better, using the hardware better, becoming more efficient, whatever, what have you. I don't know why they can't do that so much now with like the Xbox One and the PS4. Maybe it's too early, I don't know what it is. But with those incremental updates in the looks of graphics, you're not going to be as blown away as much. Like there's only so much that you realize. You get like diminishing returns on when you have 3 times the amount of polygons or 10 times the amount of polygons. That's a pretty big jump, but like most people can't even see the difference between 30 frames and 60 frames, unless you're used to being on games enough or you're trained in understanding this is a frame rate that's obviously double the next one or whatever. So and you need those bigger changes. Like if you were to look at a 30, a 45 and a 60 frame playback, side by side, you could see it. Yeah. But, you play them separately, most people can't.
It's just a different time.
Yeah.
It's, like, you're not jumping from a little, like, Cloud from Final Fantasy VII who's just, like, literally, like, blocks and then, like, to an actual person a couple years later. It's just, like, not going to be like that anymore.
Because comparing, like, when the 360 came out, Oblivion.
Yeah.
That was amazing. That was
crazy.
At the time.
Yeah, I remember the same thing. We would just stare at it and just play for hours and just be blown away by the forests and like how beautiful the grass was and their butterflies. It was just incredible.
Comparing that to Morrowind on the original Xbox. Xbox.
Even from Skyrim to Oblivion.
Yeah.
I remember
Skyrim looked incredible
in
too.
and being blown away.
Yeah.
But like going back now looking at Oblivion, looks horrible.
Even Skyrim. I put in Skyrim.
Skyrim looks
I'm not
bad
playing
on
on PC.
360.
So like 360 Skyrim, you plug that in and it's.
I mean, it's still not. It's
Just
not
whatever.
Bad. It looks.
See, in my mind, that still looks incredible. I haven't played it on 360 in a long time.
Well, the first time I played it, I popped it in a 360, and that's when I thought it was incredible.
Yeah.
And then recently, I put it in a 360, same setup. Thought it was terrible. It's not terrible. I don't know that.
But it's
lackluster.
You're used to it. You're used to it. You're expecting.
You've seen
more
better.
from-
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
And that's the thing that I've been doing as well. Like, I'll see a game come out on console and I'll be like, all right, visual fidelity, pretty good. I'll pick it up here. I'll play it with my friends. When I want to go back and revisit it, I'll buy it on Steam for like a quarter of the price and then get like way higher like visual quality. And I get to play it the way I remembered seeing it the first time.
That's a cool way to handle it.
Yeah.
But just going back to like the consoles not being ready, Quantum Break was the first game they showed off for the Xbox One.
I remember that, yeah.
That's not out yet. It's coming out very soon.
Yep.
That's not out yet.
Is that supposed? Is anyone hyping that up at all? Is it supposed to be fun? Is it supposed to be cool? I haven't heard anything
I don't know
about
what
it.
it is.
It's kind of like Alan Wake in a way.
Oh.
It's kind of gameplay like that. It's the same developer.
Okay.
Alan Wake was fun.
Yeah,
Good time
but
with that.
it's more like an episodic series they're doing, where it's kind of like a movie kind of thing.
Okay.
But it looks cool. You can stop time and mess with that. But why show a game at your console's like initial release?
I don't know.
It hasn't come out yet. And that's going on 3 years. Tons of games have been announced and came out
Like
since
the
that.
Division.
The Division.
I remember being excited
that
about
was another
that
one,
3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
Yeah.
What's Fallout 4? That was announced and released before the Division or Quantum Break.
That's Bethesda though. Like they
are.
get it. They love to shock people. They go for like the shock hype. It's like, oh yeah, Fallout Shelter. Download it when you go home today. And it's just like, what?
It's just like I don't.
It's so cool.
They were way too early putting these consoles out.
Yeah.
It
I think
shows.
they could have waited a good 6 to 8 months and had better hard. I mean, even still, they boosted up the CPU on the Xbox One by 0.3 or 4 or whatever it was gigahertz before they started releasing it. And that when you think about the production cycles and your projected sales, you need to make so many 100,000 or whatever million units that you think you're going to sell and then distribute them. How long does it take to get a package from China, on Amazon? That can take a week or more sometimes.
Yeah.
And then going through all the licensing and customs, and it's what's in this box and all this crap. So it's John and I were talking about branding and licensing and getting partners to work together. And when you have so many moving parts, it just slows everything down because it's tough for everybody to agree. So when you're getting into that, what is our hardware? You lock that in 10 months before you even start production, and then you get your design concepts, everybody's out and they approve. And then you start building the thing, and then you get feedback when all the leaks go out. And community's like, oh, too slow. It's only 1.6. It's crazy, And then now we're here, and something came out too early, or it's not ready, and now we have this incremental release. So it's frustrating.
I won't buy the PS4K or 4.5,
I probably won't either,
whatever.
And with that too, it's the 3DS did completely different, but similar. The 3DS came out with a new 3DS to bump up the hardware so they could play one more game that was being developed, Xenoblade Chronicles. I don't even know if it's out yet, but it'll that new 3DS will still play all the old games. So I don't think it'll be it's the same operating system. They don't have to emulate anything. It's just faster hardware. So I have a feeling we'll see games say Gears 4 comes out. If you have an older Xbox One, you can run it at 30 frames. If you have a newer Xbox One, say you could run it at 60 or whatever. I don't know. So I think that'll be kind of what we'll see more options for graphical visual fidelity in the options menu, for games now that come out.
It makes consoles seem so much less appealing, though.
Right.
Why wouldn't at that point, if I in
Exactly.
2 years, if I'm gonna have to buy another console, why wouldn't I just buy a sweet PC and have it last a while?
Right.
Swap parts.
Exactly. It's easier. There's a culture behind it. It's just totally different.
It's a standardized experience that tends to work. As soon as you plug it in, there's no build, there's no crazy setup. You just install your game and that's it. I used to be excited about that. A console gets closer to a PC where it's okay, it can be kind of mine. I can individualize it. I can add a new hard drive. I can add a new set of RAM or whatever it is I want to do with it. But now it's I really don't want that. As much as I thought I wanted it, I don't. I just want it to work. I just want it to work, damn it.
Plug and play.
Yeah, exactly. When you get home from work and you're beat, you don't want to fiddle with why is my new GPU in my Xbox One not, it's the drivers that can do that. That's annoying. I can do it, but it's annoying. I don't want that when I come home and I'm
Exactly.
let's just play a game, guys. So
Well, speaking of the whole ecosystem, to kind of move this one on, cross-platform play.
right.
That's being... It's not confirmed. It is going to happen, but it's up to the developers.
Okay, so did someone mind kind of recapping what has been talked about?
I think it was at GDC last week, which is the Game Developers Conference.
Yeah.
Microsoft was like, we are 100% opening... We're 100% open. They didn't say any names, PC or PS4, to other platforms, working together and having our networks, available to them, stuff like that as well.
That'd be cool.
Obviously, talking about PlayStation and stuff. And then PlayStation kind of said the same thing, responding to them, but not saying any names. They didn't say, yes, we'll love to work with Xbox or Microsoft.
Right.
So it's up to developers pretty much to, kind of code it to have their online games open and be cross-platform. Cool. I think Rocket League is the first to officially do it.
Hopefully do that, yeah. And officially say they're on
I think
board with
PS4 and PC can do that right now.
Yeah.
I think Xbox is the next do that soon.
There's a couple games from the Sony and PlayStation side of things that work on Steam. There's a lot of PS4 downloadable titles that you'll see pop up on Steam, which there's one recently Helldivers. I don't know if you guys seen that. It's like a hardcore.
I saw your text about it.
Looks, I want you guys to play with me. I don't have it yet, and I don't want to buy it and don't even play it. But I don't know. It looks really, really fun. So yeah, that kind of thing is like if you can now, like if I could play it on PC, and then you guys are like, oh, I have a console, I don't have a PC, and you could still play with your friend.
Right.
That's sick.
Well, one thing I just thought of now is you have Rocket League on Xbox.
I do.
I was just gonna buy it last week.
Yeah.
But I have it
Now
on
you don't
PC.
now you
Now I don't have to, because we can all play together.
Yeah.
And I'll probably just play it on my PC again.
Yeah, that would be
Rocket League.
That would be cool.
And I have to buy Rocket League.
Yeah.
And actually play with you
It's
guys.
a different story.
Rocket League is fun.
Dude,
Yeah,
it's fun.
I've heard.
One kind of way I see this being an issue is in games like Battlefield, where again it's going to be up to DICE to decide if they want this. But like someone playing, even on PC, I've seen footage of someone playing on low settings who is seeing someone hiding in a bush. But because they're on low settings, it doesn't render the bush. But in someone who's playing on the max settings, they're hidden in a bush.
Yeah.
The guy on low settings comes up and kills the guy hiding in a bush.
Yeah.
So obviously, there's going to be graphical differences on consoles and PC. How is it going to kind of
Yeah.
at least with multiplayer?
Yeah.
I don't
That's
think
just
Battlefield's going to be
visuals, too.
like one of those games, even like Call of Duty.
Yeah.
If they're going to ever kind of do that, it would be cool, but it's going to be the whole graphical kind of advantage.
On a competitive level, like if for just social gaming when you're at home, yeah, get mad about it, but like the developer's not going to care. They're going to sell you their game, whatever. But if you're in a tournament or something like that, and I think this is where it would matter, they'll probably have a capped setting. And the people that are going to get hurt the most with that, I think, are the PC players. Right. If there's, whatever. Now, then again, if you're in a tournament, probably everybody's going to be on the same hardware.
Yeah, that's probably what happened.
But overall, that's still going to cause people to be upset, and you're going to.
And it's already bad as it is right now.
Yeah.
Because Ubisoft has said numerous times that they're trying to make, like less of a difference between PC and console games.
Assassin's Creed or something
Assassin's Creed and with Division and Watch Dogs. Yeah.
Really?
Because if you look at the Division
on PC
launch
awesome.
gameplay, it does. But if you look at the launch gameplay of that, like when it first showed 2 years ago, it looks insanely better than it is now. It still looks good.
Some of that was probably somewhat pre-rendered too, because that's E3. Like that's where we got to make something awesome. Otherwise, people won't buy our game in 3 years when we don't have it out yet. So.
But yeah, I mean, it's cool that they're doing that. Again, I'd like to see it available on a lot of games because playing, stuff with you guys. If I have it on PC, crossplay.
Okay,
that'd be cool. But I remember back in the day, Final Fantasy XI, that was PC and PS2, right?
And then later Xbox 360. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So it is capable, and it's cool that Xbox is admitting to being more open to that now. So that'd be great to see. But you just brought up E3.
Yeah.
And I think there's been more signs showing that year after year it's kind of going downhill.
Okay.
They're not getting as good numbers and view watches and stuff.
When it's just a press event and you're only there for invite.
See, years ago, I remember we would get really hyped for this, E3, even 5+ years ago. Mm-hmm. Even before I had internet, when I'd get to, it's gonna make it sound ridiculously old, but those magazines and stuff.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You would buy those after E3 and they'd just be loaded with information. Yeah. And for me, not having internet, that was awesome.
Game Pro and stuff like that.
Yeah, Game Pro, all that stuff.
GSM.
And it used to be much more for people to go to the event. Yeah, Nintendo Power. That was. I miss the magazines like that.
I do too. It was a lot of fun.
Pokemon cards in those sometimes, the promo ones. I'm like, oh yeah.
Now that's how you got Mew.
Oh, this was it? Was one of the ways? That was probably one of the ways.
You could mail in stuff in Nintendo Power.
Oh man. That's cool.
And now it's just shitty people starting their own blogs, and it sucks. And, IGN's so biased, but yeah.
Yeah, IGN's hard to believe for authoritative information.
I haven't been to IGN in months, and I don't plan to.
I'll follow game guides, but that's about it.
IGN sucks.
Heard it here first.
Yeah, I've been pretty vocal about that on Twitter and stuff. But
no, I agree. They say some ridiculous things.
Oh yeah. And with E3 going downhill, it's become much less about the people going there to play these games. It's all about obviously the money, getting your company out there and showing off stuff. But I think I don't know the full details on this, so I probably shouldn't talk about it, but I'm going to. But EA didn't they say they're not attending E3 this year?
Yeah, I think a lot of
the first time ever. EA, a huge company who shows off in all their sports games, they tons of games they have. They're probably not. They're gonna have their own separate event.
Yep, and I think part of it is too E3 for its size is still very large, even though it's becoming less popular. It's the go-to. It's like the Grammy, not the the Grammys would be to music, or the Academy Awards are to movies kind of thing, but for games, right? So it's like you show off all your stuff. It's not awards,
Yeah, not awards,
but it's
but-
on the level of like spectator viewership. Like that's where the game culture goes. Like when you think of like, oh, what's your favorite like game convention or whatever, or thing to watch that they stream, it's like, oh well, yeah, E3. Everybody who, even if you're not a gamer, has probably heard of E3. So I lost my train of thought.
It happens.
I'm killing. All right, so what was I saying?
E3's going downhill.
E3's going down. Okay.
EA's not about it.
Oh yeah, right. So they're going the way of like what Bethesda's doing with their own conference, because they don't have to, apply for a spot. They don't have to be invited. They don't have a limited amount of time. They can say, well, that's not valuable enough to us if we have way more content, that if we could just rent out, a convention center or something like that and have our own thing, and people who are specifically are fans of EA who want to be there will go.
And it doesn't matter to the consumer because they're still gonna just watch it online anyway.
Yeah. Exactly. It's like the Netflix environment, you watch what you want to watch when you want to watch it as much as you want for whatever you feel like paying, essentially.
Yeah, and you talked about Bethesda, and they're supposed to release a new game this year at E3. Everyone's pretty hyped about that.
Ooh.
People are thinking it's going to be the new
Elder Scrolls?
No,
I don't think it's
I would
time.
hope.
I think it'll be a while yet.
The game where you're like
Well, they have-
a thief, kind of assassin kind of
Thief?
guy. No, not thief.
Assassin's Creed now.
What the hell's that game called?
Oh, Dishonored?
Dishonored
yeah,
2.
yeah.
That's supposed to be the big one this year.
Dishonored
I
3?
could see that
2.
2?
Yeah.
too.
Is there already a
I
second
thought there
one?
already was 2.
No.
No, there was like Dishonored, then like I think like a
There was a
director's
remastered.
cut or like something.
Oh yeah,
like
there
that,
was like
remastered.
a yeah. So they're supposed to put out the second one, which I'm not too big in those
Yeah,
games.
the first one was.
But Rockstar is also going to be. It was kind of leaked last week, but the new Red Dead Redemption,
Oh, that's
which is huge.
Awesome.
That's because
That
that
was
was
one of the
a
rumors I
huge game
heard
on the
about.
360 and
Did you
PS3.
play that on
I did.
360?
I did. It was
Wonderful
amazing.
game.
That was one of the best online experiences I've had because you're just
Yeah.
open world Wild West. There's just like gang shootouts and stuff.
Yeah.
That was an awesome game. I never beat it. I played that towards the end of the 360's like cycle.
Okay.
So I kind of like did that to myself.
Yeah, I played
But,
that 100% actually.
I heard it was an amazing game. I had a great time playing it. So they're finally going to be putting out the new one. That's what's rumored. I'm pretty pumped for that.
It's been about like
Rockstar?
It's been a while. Yeah.
it's been long enough. So.
Oh yeah,
Rockstar, yeah.
Rockstar.
Oh, imagine what they're going to do with that now.
That could be pretty cool. And they have tons of room because their levels, they're barren. It's like a desert. So they have a lot of room to work with, extra textures in the game, make it look better, just extra features, stuff like that. I'm pretty pumped for that. There's also going to be some sort of like GTA 5 like DLC stuff because they never really put out like an expansion to the story. So a lot of talks about that maybe. Yeah, E3's coming up. A few months already.
What
Is
if
it June or when is it?
Yeah, June.
June. Okay.
What if Red Dead Redemption 2 is GTA 5's DLC?
That'd be fun.
And they just like go back. It's Trevor.
And you run around as the character.
I would enjoy
It'd be
it.
so funny to see. Oh God, Trevor in the Wild West would be amazing. But who's the other guy? The dude who gets
Mike?
mentored by Michael. No.
Oh,
Franklin?
Franklin. Yeah, I couldn't think. That'd be funny to see him in like a Wild Wild West sort of thing, like Will
hell?
Smith. Yeah.
Yeah.
What am I doing here?
Like Will Smith. Good, that's good. Good
Like Wild
comparison.
Wild West. Yeah.
GTA 5 was a good time, and there are so many mods on the PC. Like pretty much anything you can think of, there's a
yeah.
mod for it on PC, and I would love
They're
to.
doing pretty well because
Yeah.
apparently GTA 5 is like hard as hell to mod, but I don't know.
Yeah, they've done
They
it.
locked it down, but
I had the
figured it out.
same experience with GTA 5 that I did with like Skyrim, where I started GTA on one console, and then something happened where I started playing on a different console. So I never completed the story.
Okay.
Same.
And I'm at the point now where I rebought it on Xbox One and haven't even started the story because I don't want to replay the first half of the game all over.
Yeah.
And then the online mode, I have a blast playing online.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But the best thing to do online is the heist.
Yeah.
Like that's
I've never done
best-
Ice Online.
Best
I have
part.
bad news. I uninstalled mine. 'Cause
Oh,
I need
no.
room to play a different game, so I gotta get
But
it external. But yeah.
I've tried to play Heist for the last. When did Heist come out? Over a year ago?
A while ago.
A year and a half
Long
ago?
time.
I've been trying to play Heist for a year and a half.
Yeah.
I've only. Up until last month, I had only ever been able to play the first one because you only need to connect to one other person.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I finally got to play the second Heist, and it took like 3 weeks.
Yeah, just to finish it.
Connecting was a nightmare, and
Yeah.
it still is. They never fixed
Yeah,
anything.
their network's pretty bad.
It's really
It's like
bad.
I watch the Funhouse guys play that online all the time, and they always have issues getting like kicked off and stuff. And I play with them a lot on
in their videos
because
It's in your
like once a
tag,
week
like,
they'll play on PC and they'll like announce it. And I'm friends with Lawrence on Steam.
Yeah.
So I just immediately get right in.
Nice.
So I play with them every now and then. There's just constant issues online.
That's so funny.
But yeah, I never played Heist. I just play their crazy maps that they find.
Oh my god, it's hilarious.
Yeah, Funhouse guys are pretty.
I love when they all yell. It's good
stuff.
stuff that's happening.
Yeah.
God, it's good.
That's not really a shameful plug-in, but we all like Dude Soup.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Funhouse. We talked about them
So
before.
good.
Yeah.
Even back to when they were with Inside Gaming on Machinima.
It's like if they were younger or we were older, we'd probably all be friends.
Oh yeah, yeah, they're
We could still be friends.
We could still. This is true. This is true. This is very true.
Past that age.
Right.
they're not too much older.
But like, yeah, a couple years. But I'm just saying, like, if we were like still in high school, like, want to do the thing that we want to do all the time.
We got a comment.
So
Yeah, we got a what beer are you drinking?
Oh, let's talk about beer. What beer are you drinking?
what do I got? A George Killian's Irish Red. It's actually pretty good.
I've got the Pennsylvania Classic Yingling Lager.
Oh yeah.
Got Samuel Adams Chocolate Bach. That's supposed to be an R for rock.
No, that's Bach.
No, it's
Ah,
Bob.
Bach. All right.
And I just finished the Shock Top Strawbernero Wheat.
Yeah, how'd you like that?
It was good. I've had it
That's
before.
We had a
That's what
weird
we all
time
drank
with it
in the
last podcast.
Yeah, I remember you guys talking.
The bottom's
about it
pretty
last
rough.
Let me read this to you guys. Limited edition. Belgian style wheat. Belgian style wheat ale brewed
Sing
with
me.
habanero peppers, strawberries, and orange peels.
At first, it's not
It
bad.
sounds.
Then it's like an after sting kind of because of the pepper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There were some sips I had that were a little too spicy. Kind of gave me like a little bit of a headache.
It's like the
now-
bottom of the form.
yeah.
that's probably
And the
bad.
second one is a Guinness Blonde American lager.
Oh man.
We'll take like a little
that
5-minute
bottle.
break coming up soon. I'm trying one of those Killians.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet. I mean, not sweet, but like it's like cool sweet.
It's an easy to drink.
Sweet. Yeah.
Cool sweet, not like
It's that cool
not like
sweet.
mouth sweet. Right.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure that everybody knew what I was talking about.
We haven't gone to Strasbourg in a while. We need to hit up like
been a
Floods
bit.
or something.
dude.
I always forget the name of the bar that we
Yards?
used to go to.
Yard of Ale.
Yard of Ale, yeah.
Heard of it.
Yard of
I
Ale.
saw they have that new like 50s style diner there or whatever on Main Street.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's
It just
sick.
opened up a few weeks ago. It's like it looks like it was from the 50s. Like
That's
the
amazing.
entire inside is renovated, like really old fashioned.
I'm going.
It's apparently pretty popular. I've seen like a lot of posts about it on like Pocono Record and like Facebook and stuff.
Nice.
But I think we should hit up Strasbourg again.
Yeah,
sometime.
let's go to that.
Even though
place.
it's Strasbourg and it's.
Yeah. Equal parts. Equal parts fun.
I was there like 2 weeks ago with Emily. Like every now and then we'll just go to Main Street and like walk around, get like Starbucks or something. And this guy was just flipping shit. I forgot where we were trying to cross over. He had like I don't even know what he was yelling about, but he was just standing on the corner by the street, just yelling and piss off about something. And he was yelling at me then when I was walking by him, and I'm just like, wait, what? It's like, no, I'm not talking about you. But he was going off about how some bitch was like working at this one place, she was mind her business. This guy's gonna come down and whip his ass. I'm just like, he was like
Where
in his
are we?
60s, probably just drugged out of his mind. He had like 2 teeth. Stratford.
I was recently in New Orleans. Pulling into New Orleans, I had never been
amazing.
before.
You drove there, right?
I drove there 24 hours.
Now, what was the decision behind that? Because of all the gear you guys had?
We had a U-Haul filled with gear.
Okay.
To fly it all down and to move a team of 10 people down would have cost a fortune.
Yeah.
So we drove.
You should probably tell them real quick like what you do. Like
We'll get to that in the second half of the podcast. Quick story that applies to crazy people on the street.
Right.
Pulling into New Orleans. I'm there for like 5 seconds. I'm the one driving into the city driving a van towing a U-Haul. So then I'm driving down Bourbon Street, which is just Google Bourbon Street. it's unexplainable.
Street View.
And I get stopped in an intersection because there's a homeless man walking across the street with no shirt on, decides to stop and stand in front of our car and look in the window and hold up a sign which says, "Please snort crack off my ass.
All right.
And I just turned around to the team and I said, welcome to New Orleans.
Turn around and drive back home. The world's pretty crazy.
That is awesome.
Remember last year, the day we were, maybe not the day, but we went and hiked that mountain in Jim Thorpe.
Yeah.
And we were picking up Emily. And on the corner was just a guy taking a shit.
Oh yeah.
It's like the stuff you see. Like what is with it?
Broad daylight.
Yeah.
Just letting it out.
Weird.
Yeah.
But we talked about it a little bit beforehand, but every time I go to Stroudsburg, I always think of the cookie scenario situation thing.
Oh yeah.
What's
What's it, like 10th grade?
Yeah.
Oh, we're going back.
I think so.
Yeah, I
Way
think
back.
10th grade. So 6 years ago, which is nuts.
That is nuts.
I think 6 years
Go
ago.
to the local shows.
Yeah, we used to go to Stroudsburg, PA, which
See
has
some
like the
friends
Sherman
play.
Theater. They would always have like shows every Friday nights.
lots
And we
of
went pretty
landmarks.
for like a month. We went like every week or every like other week.
Yeah, we went frequently.
And we met up one night. Me,
Saki,
Saki,
John
John,
Mark.
Mark, and we went to Starbucks during one of the bands playing. We got some like coffee. Someone got a cookie. Don't remember what happened or why.
We couldn't
But-
bring it into the venue.
Were you there with us? Mm-hmm. Okay, John. I'm sorry. So you remember this?
I remember this.
Okay. Well, I don't know why I don't remember you being there. Oh yeah, we couldn't bring it into the venue. So I think John Mark had the cookie.
It was definitely John Mark.
So a few like businesses down, there was like a little mailbox like mounted on the side of the building. So I guess he figured it would be like okay to put it in
It'd be
there,
safe.
Yeah, and then get
Because
on
it was
the way
like
out
late at
and eat
night.
it.
Like no one's gonna be going in there.
Yeah, it was probably around 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
So it was like an hour later, maybe not even.
Yeah.
We come out, go back to that place to retrieve his cookie. Not only is the cookie not there, but the mailbox is gone. It's just on the floor in like 10 pieces.
But there's like crumbs and shit.
So what could have happened between the time we left that cookie there? Who saw us put the cookie in the mailbox? And who decided to destroy it?
It's a bear. It's a bear.
Like, was there a homeless person who was like spying on us and saw us leave like a prime cookie in a mailbox? And not just take the cookie out of the mailbox, but
Tear it off the wall.
rip it off the wall.
Obliterate it. Oh my god.
Every time I go there, I just think like, what could have
I
happened?
think about it every time I walk by.
That's funny.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Oh man,
The mysteries of
You guys
life.
witness crazy stuff together. Like that's one thing that
Yeah.
I either miss out on those moments because like I'm just not able to make it.
There's probably a ton we could talk about, but I can't think of any on the spot.
Yeah.
But I mean, we've been friends since first grade, so there's definitely
Yeah,
been
there's
some
been-
shit.
been some
I was
times.
thinking about it. How many years is that now? First grade. We were what, 7?
12 years of school.
Almost
16, 17
it's
years?
over a
That's
decade.
crazy. It's
Yeah.
definitely over a decade.
So we've been friends longer than some people have been alive watching this.
You're oh
A
man.
lot of my demographics like
That's
14 to like 24. So yeah,
What?
if you're under like 16, we've been friends longer than you've been alive.
Beat
It's
it.
just, it's just crazy to think of.
That is wild.
So I was watching, it was a Rooster Teeth podcast the other night, and Gus and
Yeah.
Bernie were saying they've been friends for like close to 20 years now.
Yeah.
I'm like, well shit, like me and Billy have been friends since first grade, and that's
Almost
Oh
20 years.
yeah.
Wow. Jeez.
that's nuts.
That is crazy.
I met you in fourth grade, you in third grade.
Then I just became friends with you guys because I was like, "Hey, you friends with Frank?" Basically, yo, you friends with Frank? And they're just like,
Yeah.
"Yeah," and then we just were friends.
We're all friends. That's the easiest like friendship ever.
Dude, I will forever say 8th grade was the best year of my life.
I wish I was in the
It's never going up.
Took Spanish class and it screwed up all the
that's
teams.
what
The
it was.
hijinks we could have had.
Oh
Yeah.
man,
And that's exactly what it was Spanish.
that's what it was. Because that's
Yo, can I tell like one quick story from
Yeah.
8th grade? It's one of my favorite stories.
Okay.
It was that
Is
one
this the one
time
in German?
Yeah. We had the most laid back German class in existence.
God.
And at the end of class would end like a couple minutes early, and we would all just shoot the shit and hang out literally for the rest of the class.
we had block scheduling.
Yes.
So it was
The
like
classes were a little bit longer.
the last 20 minutes.
We
nobody
just
wanted to
did
do
nothing.
anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
It's a shame.
it was in a modular, so it was like this like little like shitty building attached to our school.
A little trailer.
Basically,
Yeah.
it was
Cold as hell.
awful. Yeah, the winter
Winters
was
were
so
pretty
You
cold.
actually had to go outside. I mean, you had a roof over you.
Yeah,
you
but
were
you have to go
outside walking
outside.
to class.
And one day, Andy is like very big into acrobatics and just like doing crazy stuff. So we were like,
I like to move around.
yo, what if like you do a flying kick and I catch your foot and you take the momentum and spin around and try to get me with the other foot? And we're like, yeah, let's do that right in the middle of class. Like that'll be fine.
We were so close. You caught my foot.
And then your foot started to turn, and I realized, I can't just hold your foot straight. And so I was like,
you should have. That's the thing. Is like if you held it, I could have used that as leverage.
It was just happening too fast.
You were like, I don't know what to do, and like, oh.
Well, because it started to twist, and my hands just went. So I was just like, all right. And then all of a sudden, Andy just falls flat on his ass, shakes the whole fucking thing because it's a trailer. It literally shakes the whole thing.
And 25 other kids who were like loud and obnoxious and just stop,
just silent,
and look at me.
And he's just laying on the ground.
In the back.
And our teacher was this dude. He's the nicest guy ever, but he has like a glass eye, so it was like just doing the whole glass eye thing. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Well, great guy. He was a great teacher, but then he was just like, hey, and just like yelling at us.
First time we ever saw him mad. It was like mildly terrifying.
Yeah.
I'm on the floor. I'm in a vulnerable position. Like, what do I do?
And then
sorry.
And then it settled in like, why would we ever do that? Like, what was the thought process? We were like, yeah, that's a great idea.
So pumped. Like we just finished like a worksheet and we're like, Lord, what do we want to do? Let's hang out in the back of the room.
You kick me and spin that shit. Yeah. Oh yeah, bad idea.
Fucking middle school, man. Those were two solid years, but
best year of my life.
Middle school overall, I just hated middle school.
Overall,
It wasn't
the quality of school,
Wasn't
but like us hanging out 24/7
was the best.
That's probably the most we ever hung out was middle school because we were all good friends. It's like a mile down the road. We all was coming after school on Fridays and stuff.
all the time in the world to do like anything, like no real crazy
obligations,
responsibilities.
Yeah.
Like
That was like the prime for Slayer Productions.
Yeah.
That's like when we got it all like up and going.
Have you ever announced Slayer Productions on?
Yeah, I've talked about it.
I know in your vlog or whatever.
Yeah, the random
blogs.
random Project Random last year. I used to do that. I talked about it back then.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That year was just like
it was
insane.
incredible.
Because that's when we still had like Luke and them above us.
Yeah.
That's also the year of the bomb threats.
Oh man.
On CNN,
Yeah.
we were our
interesting
school was rated
interesting
the
point.
number
Yeah,
one.
our school was on CNN for being the most bomb threats in the United States.
And we don't
Middle
live
school.
in like a typically like shady
live-
spot.
we
We
live
live in the middle of nowhere. And for some reason, like some kids thought it'd be a good idea to just
Yeah,
there
was only one
just do this.
open bathroom in the entire middle school because they were trying to narrow down the bomb threats. People would like write them on the walls or some shit. But that was nuts because there was a lot of kids in that school. Like our
fairly
school
large
overall,
graduating class.
I talked to people who had graduating classes of like 60 and 100 kids.
Yeah.
We had over 500.
Over 500, yeah.
So you figure there's close to like 1,500 kids that year between our grade and the grade above us, and there's only one bathroom. But one thing that I wanted to talk about,
That sucked.
not like a funny topic, but it's just crazy how much time has changed in a short period of time. Josh was talking the other day how about they have regularly scheduled lockdowns for an active shooter.
Weird.
They have training. Like we used to have bomb threats.
Tornado
Like
threats, remember those?
Yeah.
We used to have those, but like they're ready to be scheduled. We have to go out and like
Weather
plan for it. Just hide in the room for 10 minutes, whatever.
Yeah.
But bomb threats and like tornadoes.
Yep.
Tornadoes don't come through here. I don't want to get rid of the practice for that. It happened once,
It's
like
been one
94.
tornado.
Yeah. That's crazy.
But now they have like scheduled like training for an active
It's like-
shooter. We
it
never
sucks.
had that. And I asked them, like, do
You're
you
right.
have like bomb threats, stuff like that? He's like, we never had one bomb threat or anything close like that. How insane is that?
That's scary.
Sign of the
It's
times
real
thing.
scary.
I mean, you think about it, like back during like the Cold War, like my mom would talk about like when she was in school, like they'd like hide under desks and
Yeah.
stuff. Like that was one of their drills that they would do occasionally. You know, they'd do the alarm, they should get under your desk, doors locked, blah blah blah, and like now we gotta worry about just like people walking into your school and shooting you.
Yeah, and that's
Like that's
Which
some
is
shit.
don't mean to bring the podcast
Arguably
to a
way
downer,
scary.
but it's nuts. How
Yeah,
much
it's
it's been what
crazy.
5 years, 6 years since we were in middle school.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit more, but
And it's always like
It's
practical
changing that
jokes, but
much.
like that's like a fairly serious topic.
yeah,
now.
especially now.
It sucks.
Yeah, but
I don't know.
I think it's a good time to go on
Take a
break.
Yeah. Well, this dude just got here and he was like, "Oh, you should have a tablet watching the text."
Yeah, we actually do have
you are.
a,
Bring them
No,
along.
he said that.
Bring the live
He
chat
said that.
along.
He was like, "Oh, you are."
Beer
I just
run.
got here.
Yeah.
Oh really? Oh yeah, definitely beer run.
So don't go anywhere. We're going for a beer
it'll
run.
literally be like 2 minutes, 3 minutes. We'll be back. It's getting more.
Dude,
beer.
bring him with it. Bring him with us.
Yeah, I'll bring the Periscope with us.
Show him my household.
All right. All right. So yeah, that was a little break that you guys probably didn't even notice because
Did you start this camera?
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been rolling.
So yeah, I mean, we talked about pretty good stuff so far. I still have a few other topics to talk about before we just kind of trail off into nostalgia again, like we usually do.
Date ourselves every time we do this podcast.
It's a good time though.
They're so
Yeah, we left off talking about middle school. Good times. Good times.
Yeah.
If you ever want to just go on my channel, go to my videos, and then click like list in order, like oldest to newest, you can
God.
watch a bunch of our old shit. And we used to do a lot of stuff, a lot of like just random videos that never made any sense.
We just record like what we would do.
Yeah.
It's just
You're
like
asking, what about movies?
a lot of it's not.
Do you want us to talk about movies? Or are you asking about our movies?
Because we have a lot of movies that we never finished.
Probably movies in general.
Yeah.
We can talk about movies.
Sure.
towards
They're
the
more
end,
like
but-
they're not so much like movies, but they're more like shorts
Yeah.
of sporadic ADHD.
Yeah. I still think all this is possible. Do you know why all this is possible right now?
Because of those videos.
What videos? Like why do I have even an interest in videography? And just like making videos as a whole.
Bam Margera, 401
yeah,
Skate.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
It's just so bizarre that every time I think of like those
CKY.
old CKY videos and like Bam and Jackass, that is the biggest influence on me to date, which is why I'm doing this. And it's like if I would never have bought, like one of the first things I ever bought for myself was like a huge investment. It was a video camera in 5th grade.
Yeah.
At the time, you know, when you're like 12, 11 years old, buying a video camera is pretty big. And I just did it, and we would try to skateboard. Never worked out. But we would make videos. We would do very like innocent stunts.
Yeah.
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 Innocent.
Innocent.
Very innocent and juvenile.
Dude, the Movie Volume 5 trailer is still probably my favorite video I've ever done.
Is that on yours or
That's
not?
on mine.
I think it's on yours. Is yours Rovont 5? Or
No, it's just Rovont.
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 I will plug that down below. Definitely check
Yeah.
out. That was
That's a
7th
very
grade.
good example.
No, that
of
was 8th grade. That was 8th grade.
It was 8th grade. That's a good example
Again,
of the
middle school.
really awful stunts that aren't stunts and just us falling down.
I don't have them anymore, I don't think. But I used to have those like 6-hour blank VHS tapes filled. I had like 2 or 3 just filled with footage of me and you just doing like stuff that made no sense.
Yeah.
I remember you brought him over that one time and I was like almost like crying and I was just like, oh my god, this is my whole like I remember all those moments. It was crazy.
That's awesome.
Anyways, before we talk about more stuff about our lives, we could get to that again towards the end. But some things I just want to talk about, like VR, which is pretty crazy. We have the Oculus Rift. I think that's coming out soon. I know the HTC Vive is scheduled to release in April.
I heard
I think the Rift is
that
like
the Oculus Rift, or some of it is coming out, or is out, or what
The thing is with the Rift
being released, because I don't know if it's the creator, like the lead developer, somebody like that delivered like the first one to a consumer, like in person. I think I read a story about that like today.
what they're doing is it's $600 for the Rift,
Yeah.
but it doesn't come with the those like wireless like controller pads.
Right.
The Vive is $800.
Okay.
Comes with 2 of those, like the motion control pads. I
Okay.
think a controller, as well as all the wireless, like not wireless, as well as all the like
The
module
IR
node things that you need to set up around your
infrared
room.
monitors.
Yeah. So I did pre-order a Vive.
Okay.
I'm still kind of up in the air whether I want to keep that pre-order or not.
Yeah.
But when I saw it on the website, I thought that I pre-order it, I'm going to get it when it comes out. It's like you'll receive it in the order in which you pre-ordered.
Oh.
So I'm hoping I don't get it in like May or June when it comes out in a few
So
weeks.
they're just like directly distributing it to people, and then
if you pre-ordered in the order, right?
yeah, and then hoping that those people maybe kind of like say, "Whoa, it's amazing enough to talk about it," kind of.
It is pre-polished. I tried the latest version at CES,
Okay.
and I would not invest $800 in a heartbeat
Yeah, I was
on
gonna
something
say-
if I didn't think it was awesome.
Well, I mean, you talk about that red camera a lot.
I do talk about that red camera.
All right, as you're saying.
Okay, but so I never, prior to CES, I never tried any VR. Pretty much the only thing there was to try was Oculus. But I felt like a lot of people have been trying that because like a lot of malls will have demos and stuff like that. But I've never tried any sort of VR. Funny enough, I was in the iBuyPower suite, which is at CES. You have like your main show floors and stuff like that. Few separate buildings, but you have your main show floors where a lot of the companies are. But a lot of the bigger brand companies, and a lot of like the higher name ones, they have their own private suites in these, multi-million-dollar hotels. So I was like the 34th floor of the Venetian with iBuyPower.
Damn.
In the middle of it, I don't know if you guys know who it is, but Rick Fox, he's like a
name.
retired Lakers player. He just like walks into that suite and starts like talking to the guys there. It was a bizarre experience at CES. But in their suite, they were showing off their new Revolt 2 case. And like I'm pretty close with the guys. I've been talking to them for a while. Their PR contact.
Cool.
And he's like, "Did you ever try out like any like VR, like any HTC Vive or anything like that?" Like, no, I never did. I'd love to because I never had to before. So I try out the Vive for the first time, and it was like you hear about getting immersed in the games. You are 100% fully immersed, and it's not like the Rift where you're sitting down at a desk.
Okay.
With this, they have those like little things you put up in the room to like scan like where you are, You could fully walk, like this would be perfect for it because you have so much like open room here. You put these like things up, it'll scan the room and you can walk around the area. When it started off, I was on a sunken boat in the bottom of the ocean.
Okay.
No, you can just walk around. So like it's insane because obviously it's like the lenses and the goggles.
What do you do when you run out of room to walk? What happens?
Like a little like an AR kind of like blocky wall will appear saying like like you can't go there.
Okay.
Like you'll see it, but it's not like immersion breaking.
Right.
But like it does like scan like your space and stuff and where you are. So it starts off, I'm walking on this sunken ship in the bottom of the ocean. Like you're looking all around, there's like fish like in front of you swimming, and there's a giant whale comes down, and it was insane. And then there was this zombie apocalypse shooter.
Oh no.
Where you have these little controllers. And they're pretty like ergonomically friendly and stuff.
Okay.
But you're just in the middle of this desert, and he's like, all right, like there's like a little shooting range you can learn how to practice like shoot and stuff. He's like, all right, he's like, start like shooting and stuff. He's like, you can bend down, you can pick up a gun. It's like you actually bend down with the controller. You pick up a gun like you're aiming, and like you can turn it around with the controller, and you're seeing the gun like rendered real time. It was bizarre. And he's like, all right, have fun. And like I start like hearing something behind me. And I physically look around, and there's like a fucking zombie just like crawling up. And for like 10 minutes, it's just this insane zombie apocalypse like shooting kind of game. Okay. Where like you see them like coming, you gotta like shoot them and like get different guns. You can like walk around, hide behind shit. And it was bizarre. But I pre-ordered one. Okay. I'm pumped for it. There was also like, and the Funhouse guys did it a few days ago, like the Pictionary kind of thing.
Yeah, I saw that.
Where you can, it's pretty much like this VR landscape of open space where you can draw and paint, and you can like walk around it. Yeah. It is insane. It is definitely going to be something crazy, especially with like even like VR mods. That's going to be scary to think about. But like imagine playing a game like PT.
Dude,
no,
that's gonna be like
I wouldn't do it. Like I can't do that.
Dead Space 4, I'm out.
Like that is gonna be,
games, but no,
because it's not even like okay, like yes, you're still playing a game, but since everything it's rendered real time in front of you, no matter where you look, because it's tracking you and like where you're looking and where you're walking, it's just like you're in a different world. So just imagine something like that.
I don't want to. I mean, it's kind of
sounds
cool, but like,
dude, the addiction that's gonna happen.
Oh,
one thing I'm worried about is like
the moral stuff.
The amount of space that you can be in, like,
right.
like what's your limit for like how far you can walk or go? Like, how can you go outside those bounds? Like, is it like does the controller have like a joystick on it that you can make your character or whatever walk, or is it like?
No, you actually walk.
Right, I get that. So like eventually your room is going to run out of space. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So it's like these environments tend to be, or they sound like they're very contained to whatever your space is.
So yeah, you're 100% right. But like for the the sunken boat thing, it'll say if we were in this room, it would pretty much scan all the objects here, and say I was walking to that like the sofa, I was gonna bump into it. Carbonation, man. The beer, like it like a little thing would pop up showing you like that's out of bounds. You can't go past this area because it's recognizing you're gonna hit that.
So how would you refresh?
Yeah.
Like, say you wanted to keep walking forward, you couldn't because you were physically in front of a wall.
It's not like an endless landscape. There's only certain areas you can go to. It's probably like I would say 20 by 20 foot area where you can actually walk around in the game, and then it'll switch like locations. But there's this one game, and I don't know what it's called, but the way you move around is kind of like Portal, where you have this like little ball, and you aim it and you shoot it there, and wherever that ends up is where you then spawn. So like you have these areas to work with, but I don't know how all the games are going to do it. That's how that one did it. Kind of like Portal, where you change locations, but you can still walk around these small areas.
I'd love a Portal game in VR. That'd be really cool.
Yeah, I don't see why that can't be a thing.
Yeah.
I'm really pumped to see what happens.
Yeah.
I know it's going to be crazy.
Yeah.
For a long time, it's going to be a novelty.
Yeah.
I think for the next 2-3 years, everything that comes out video game wise for VR is going to be.
It's going to be like all those Kinect games that came.
It's going to be Time Crisis in your living room. That's what it's going to be.
Well, there is a lot of titles coming out that are VR ready. I was kind of surprised. Like The Forest, I'm pumped for that.
Oh,
that's going to be insane to play.
Yeah. See, but then how do you walk around in that again?
That I assume there's going to be some sort of controller.
Yeah, you're going to be standing or sitting with the headset on. It's just to change the camera view.
Yeah.
Just feeling
Which
more
I'm not
immersed.
into. Like I don't care about that. Like I'll just.
I don't particularly care about that either. Yeah.
A lot of people don't. And I think that's the obstacle that VR is
why
going to
I'm out
face.
already,
Like even though it's becoming like a really talked about thing this year. It's a year of VR or something stupid like that.
No.
It's people are really stoked about it, but when it actually launches, it's going to be really upsetting to a lot of gamers.
That's gonna be a bummer.
It could be, yeah. See, I bought it because two things are going to happen. Either I'm going to buy it and I'm going to love it, or if I get it and there's still like, because this is what I do a lot with stuff that comes out early. Say I get it and you can't pre-order it for another how many weeks. That stuff on eBay goes like crazy. Like with the Steam controller and the Steam Link. I was one of the first adopters of that, and they're like $50 a piece. And I sold both of them because I didn't need them. I reviewed it. I didn't really like it that much. I sold both for like $250.
Wow.
I only paid $100 for it. So if that happens with this, then I'm making some money with that. But if I like it, I can keep it, and we'll see.
That's crazy.
So I mean, I figured why not pre-order it, see what happens. If it is going to be delayed, if I'm not going to get it for 2 months afterwards, then maybe I'll see if I can cancel it. Because then at that time, who knows if I'll still want it or where I'll be. But
I'm hoping it's one of those things that like becomes more consumer affordable over time. But in order for that to happen,
like anything,
in order for that to get to that point, it'll have to be popular enough.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping that there's just something that these guys that are making this like understand or get or like can conceptualize that like kind of the rest of our like cultured society doesn't quite get yet with this kind of thing. And then maybe it really is that like you need to try it and be wowed at something, Maybe it's one of those things. Maybe it's one of those like thresholds of like immediate experience that like you're just not aware of yet, and it just has to happen.
Yeah. I mean, so I'm sold just from trying it once.
Yeah. Yeah, see, I've heard that a lot. It's like people try it and they're like, it's so freaking cool, but it's like it's these limited spaces that seem like much more like hardcore Connect games. Even though like,
well, listen, imagine playing Skyrim.
Yeah,
but in that world where you are fully immersed.
Like people imagine that, but if I can only walk 20 feet in my room, it's a shitty
you're
world
gonna wind up sitting on a stool and just using a controller and
moving my head around. I don't care.
You're gonna use your head just to look at your peripherals, and then you're not going to use like actually spin around if you're holding a controller because you're already used to doing this.
Yeah. If they can make a controller that allows you to move or something with thumbs, and then use the rest of your hands for button, like the rest of your fingers for buttons or something, so that way I can hold a sword and a shield, like that would be cool.
You can do that.
Way better.
I'm pretty sure you can with both.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember the exact layout of the controllers I have. I can't remember if it was a joystick on both of them.
Yeah.
Or if it was a touchpad. I know the Rift has a touchpad where it is like full controls. There's still buttons on it. You can move around. Like mine had triggers.
Yeah.
Like 2 buttons on the top, and I'm pretty sure it was a touchpad as well on mine.
Because that'd be sick. Like,
yeah.
The one thing I get tired of, and I've been playing a lot of Shadow of Mordor lately because I'm finally caught up to it. And it's super fun. I love it. It's a good game. Very interesting mechanics and all that stuff. Gets a little repetitive, but it's that kind of game. But in that repetition is also the animations. So there's a ton of cool, like the combat system is really cool. But once you get used to doing it and you see it over and over and over and you play the game for another 20 hours, it's like, okay, all right, I want to do animation. But if I can like literally make the animations myself with whatever I'm doing.
But like that's the Wii, and no one gave a shit.
Yeah,
you
but
know
the Wii's bad though.
Everyone.
But how is this going to be any better? It's going to be the same thing motion wise, but with a headset on.
Yeah, but you're going to be because the way Frank's portraying it and the way I'm thinking is like you're immersed. You are the thing now. You're not just making the thing on the screen move. You are now the thing.
Yeah, you're not like looking at a screen.
Yeah,
you are,
which is hard
inside of that world.
Yeah, which is like hard to like.
It's very hard to describe. But like when I tried it for the first time,
it's hard to picture.
It might have been some of that like CES hype wow.
Yeah.
But like I remember it being pretty damn cool.
That hype wow.
Yeah. Because everything at CES, it's just like it's kind of like upscaled a bit, like your hype level, because like you're there in the moment.
Yeah.
And it's just bizarre. See, it's hard to explain.
That's your first. That was your first.
That was my first time in Vegas. First time at an event like this, covering all this stuff.
You were so stoked, like that whole week.
It was just nuts.
When you came back, you were tired.
Like I've never done more. I was getting like I averaged like 3,000-4,000 steps a day because you can like track on your phone.
Right.
I was averaging 30,000 steps a day at CES.
Yeah.
And it's just constant walking from like 9 a.m. to like 4. Mm-hmm. Constant walking. There are just tons and tons of things to see. It is the biggest like convention center I've ever been in. And there's different like stories, different parts of like the halls and stuff.
Crazy.
Different buildings completely across like the strip.
Oh yeah.
It was wild. definitely like starstruck. Like, man, the YouTubers that I met that I saw.
Oh yeah.
When I walked over on,
thing
I think it was Wednesday at Tech West.
Following your Twitter.
Michael Phelps interview, like a foot in front of me.
That's sick.
It's just like bizarre.
Yeah.
Then I go over to like literally 50 yards away. Then they have the whole the NBA on TNT crew was there. So like the commissioner of the NFL, Charles Barkley, like Shaquille O'Neal.
Yeah.
They were all right there doing like their thing for live TV, covering the games. Then just me like being up in the iBuy Power suite. It was like seeing like Rick Fox just walk in casually. Like, yeah, because like him and Shaq like had a room like right down the hall from there. So like, yeah, he just like comes by and hangs out. It's just like it was bizarre.
Yeah.
Nick Cannon, he was very like phased out, like really not a thing. Like he was just like chilling in one of the halls, just like on Twitter. It's like, oh yeah, this is Nick Cannon, just sitting there.
That's crazy.
And it really was bizarre. And then like the whole nightlife aspect of that, it was just like I didn't go out too much.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want to blow tons of money like at the bar because it is expensive as shit there.
It's Vegas. Yeah.
We went the night that we went with the Linus Media Group, and I was with the Harbor Canucks guys. Went to this one place. Don't remember the name of it right now, but the cheapest thing on the menu, which is what I got, obviously, was chicken. It was pretty average chicken. It was good. It was like $50-$60.
Whoa!
And that was the cheapest thing on the menu for just chicken. Like potatoes was like a side, and that was like $20. It was nuts.
Whoa.
It was like if it was a very high end, like nice kind of restaurant.
Oh yeah.
But
That's
the one guy
part of it,
who
is
I
where
was
you
sitting
are.
across from, he's apparently a pretty big streamer. I've since followed his stuff. His name's Sevidus. He has, I forgot the name of their company and stuff, but he ordered a filet mignon, and it was like $120. And it was literally, when he got it, it was like that big.
Super small.
I'm just like fuck, man.
But it probably was.
It was
probably
crazy.
presented very nicely.
It was all right.
That's what you're paid for.
Are we taking a moment to talk about food?
Food art.
We can talk about food.
I was
Let's
in
talk about
New
food.
Orleans. I was in New Orleans for a week, and all I wanted to eat were oysters. Fresh oysters.
Okay.
I could not find oysters for the first 5 days we were there.
What?
Every restaurant
in
was
New
out
Orleans?
of oysters.
Oh, they were. When was Mardi Gras?
Beginning of March.
Okay. It's not like they're out of oysters. They live on the ocean.
Everywhere I went, no
weird.
oysters.
That's crazy.
When I finally got oysters,
It was
dude,
good, wasn't it?
those oysters were like this big.
Oh.
They were huge oysters. A dozen, I think, was only about $13.
Damn.
That's not bad.
That's quality.
That's
That's
cheap.
not bad.
That's
And
not
they
Vegas
were
prices.
they were. I have a picture. I'm gonna tweet it at Frank's if you guys want to look at it. Orgasmic.
I was gonna say, I have this image of you just like rolling in them, like when you kind of found just
They
a
were
bag of
so
oysters
good.
and you're just.
They were so good. I went back to that restaurant the next day just to get another dozen oysters.
That's
Nice.
crazy.
How big were they?
He was saying.
I just said.
Oh, sorry. I was still just like thinking that image of you rolling in them.
They were orgasmically big, didn't you hear? Yeah.
I'm
Crazy.
gonna tweet a picture.
That's great though. It's a great.
That's an exaggeration. But
still.
they were big oysters. They weren't these like little dinky quarter size
Yeah,
things
yeah.
that you
Yeah.
get, like anywhere
They
else.
shrink
but-
by the time they get up here.
Yeah.
The one night in Vegas we ate with a bunch of other YouTubers and we went to the Hash House a Go Go. And it is a pretty weird name. But I put it on my vlog as well. I got this stuffed meatloaf.
Right.
It was like a mountain. 2 huge slices of meatloaf. It was stuffed with like roasted red peppers, tomatoes, it's like Parmesan, like portobello sauce.
You make me hungry.
Yeah,
It was
I was gonna
amazing.
say,
And it was like
hungry.
It's like
Should we do that?
$16.
Should we just go out for something tonight?
We should definitely do that.
We get fucking oysters.
We'll go to New Orleans with some oysters.
You know what I'm bummed
Plenty of
about?
weekend left.
What?
And again, it's just bad timing with our age. Luna Rosa.
Yeah.
There is no
being a
good
bar.
bar around here, and now that
Except
we're
for Luna Rosa.
yeah, and that burned down. What? Right as we were all turning 21 2 years ago. Like, why did that have to happen?
Oh, we could go to
Local restaurant.
Spinelli's.
Yeah,
Get a
but
slice
only
of pizza. after
Spinelli's
that.
bar is like all the ShopRite employees that go there on break or after work.
Yeah.
it's pretty rough, and it's broad its appeal.
Frank's, I love You're so done with this area. It's the,
I would be too, man. I got
it's
out.
the funniest thing. Like, it's not great, but it's still.
yeah.
It's beautiful. It's a great
tame.
place.
Yeah, it's
I love
very-
it.
it's
I
very
love it
tame.
to death.
There's a lot of
But
weird
I don't want to be here every day.
It's so funny.
Like when I go to visit
love
visit
it.
Emily in like Westchester,
Yeah.
and I visit like my friend Tim in Philly. It's like there's just so much stuff going
I've been
on.
obsessed with that area for like the
Timmy's?
longest time.
No, Tim
Tim West.
Tim Hoffman. The Asian roommate.
Gotcha.
That's Tom West.
Tim.
That's right.
Lots of name dropping this podcast.
Yeah.
Lots of name dropping.
Are we doing some?
What?
Are we doing some name dropping? I mean,
We have.
I've talked about them before.
No, I know.
They've been a
Just like-
bunch of videos, but
We've been so specific.
Yeah, we're just like, oh, my friend Tom West. Want to look him up?
well, the best part about Tom
We
West
started
is
out
that's
with,
his
like,
drunk alter ego.
Putting out.
His name's not Tom West.
I have such a great picture of him being taped to the wall, and I'm doing that F thing with my eye, and it's just me with him in the background.
That was a great time. When you guys came to visit, that's Wilkes-Barre.
was
that is
the
Wilkes-Barre.
craziest.
Dude, John and I are in Wilkes-Barre like all the
Yeah,
time.
I see you guys right
yeah.
at the Bar and Hermes, right?
Yeah, we go there all the time, playing shows,
Nice.
jamming,
With your band. Yeah.
Yes.
but nothing.
That was a good time.
That was a great time.
Great time. That was a pretty wild weekend. Even like when you came up the night before and we just like went out to Rodano's.
We saw everybody from high school.
Everyone from high school was fucking there.
Why?
Some dude offered us like
An hour
some
from
pills
home.
within like 10 minutes of being there.
Oh my god. It was,
Then he was giving me
that's
like,
another
aggressive
funny
high fives. You know, like that drunk guy in the bar. It's like, all right, calm down.
You want a high five? Yeah. High five. And then my hand was just like, no.
It's like,
Like, no more.
did it end? My phone might have died.
Could have.
No, we've been losing connection in and out.
Yeah.
all the time.
But to circle this around real quick, 'cause we still have some time left.
Do we?
Yeah, I think we only have like an hour so far, like of total.
Oh,
Have we?
Is it dead? Is it going?
I don't know. Hold on.
Is my screen blank?
Yeah, it's dead.
It's dead. That's all right.
Oh.
Periscope just died for all you people who are watching this a week later. So games. There's not really much coming out now.
Is that one going?
Nah, that's still from like I'm not sitting there and Andy's not sitting there. I don't know when that's from.
That might have just been playback from.
Oh yeah, it's probably the beginning.
Oh, okay.
So there's not much games coming out right now.
Sorry, Periscope.
You hopped on the Division.
Yeah.
Let's see what else is coming out soon.
It's fun.
I'm still waiting on some more news about Pokemon Go.
Yeah. I saw some.
did you guys see
screenshots of that.
the leaked vid from that?
No, not vid.
Oh, there's like a video.
I saw that.
What'd you think with that Ivysaur?
Very.
I'm gonna look it up.
I was so. It was like the guy's like side angle of the presentation.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's still very early, I think.
I thought it was just like
I saw some like pre-rendered screenshots from them himself, and it looked pretty cool.
It looked like basically from this video, which may or may not be fake, but it was just like there's a Pokemon there. The Pokemon kind of like sort of shuffles around your screen a little bit, and you got to like keep it in the view,
just, like, throw
and
a
you
ball
throw a
at it.
Pokeball at it.
Yeah.
And it was just like
I'm
that
hoping it's-
gameplay is gonna die within 5 minutes.
Yeah,
like if
I'm
that's
hoping
how it
it's not
actually
like that.
works, but I'm so
Is it
skeptical.
like AR? Like it's like
Yeah.
you,
Yes.
you
You
see
stick it
Yes.
out there and you just.
You see, I'm really
Pokemon
into
on it.
AR.
No, but it's not like it doesn't.
It's,
it looks
doesn't think
stupid.
it's good AR.
Yeah,
I still
think
think
Oh, it's not like
I
the
think it's
Pokemon.
it's like,
here's the
implemented in your
Pokemon,
camera.
here's the Pokemon.
You're seeing an animated world.
no,
No, it
you're
was still
seeing
the
your
world.
world,
See it.
Okay.
just like AR. So you're
then-
seeing your world, but then here's a picture of an Ivysaur, and it's just like it's not moving. It's like
sprite.
it's like sort of moving its legs, but like because you're moving your camera, it can't tell where the perspective. So it's
Okay.
just like
It's a shame.
standing there and moving. It just looks
It
super
looks
weird.
flat
It
and
looked
disconnected.
like
it's
abnormally
not in
bad.
the world.
Like, I wanted it to be better, but like some stuff that I heard about it, like the Pokemon are only in certain locations. Like
Yeah.
that's awesome. Obviously, it's like real. Not want to say real life. Pokemon's not real life, but it's realistic
But they're
too.
in their
some tall
environment.
grass.
that you
Yeah.
Maybe normally.
So that would be awesome if we like go to a lake and just like find water Pokemon.
Yeah.
If we go on one of our hikes and find like an Onyx up on the top of that mountain.
People are
where
gonna
the
get
rocks
like.
are.
I keep thinking about people going like into like real deep inner city stuff and just like this
thought you were
not
saying-
being good, or like going underwater
Just
and like
like-
drowning because they're trying to like catch a Lapras. You know what I mean? Yeah,
mucks.
It could be. It could definitely be
It's
awesome.
like New York is just muck.
yeah.
It.
But another
Good
Pokemon
social
game
commentary.
Yeah.
is that Poka Tekken. Did you guys see that? That looks fucking
Pokken
awesome.
tournament. That looks
Yeah.
really cool.
I would buy a Wii U.
basically.
That's what it is.
I would buy a Wii U just to play that if
Yeah.
they had more than like 12 Pokemon. Like it was a very limited selection, and
Yeah.
I wasn't.
I don't
really
blame
feeling
them
that.
for that.
There'll be a second
Yeah.
one, right?
You can't have
Probably the second
every.
Probably.
It'd
Oh,
be
but I like
unreal.
at least like 150. Doesn't even have to be the
Dude,
original.
But like
one.
That's
Hitmonlee or
still
Hitmonchan,
unreal, how to make
like,
animations
It
for
is.
that.
It is crazy.
Yeah.
Because
A lot
like
of
even
move
Tekken
sets?
games.
Tekken
Yeah,
games
because
have
Tekken
shit
games
ton
have
of
like
moves
20 people.
Like, the gameplay I saw of it, and I know the Let's Play guys. They did a huge thing on that.
Yeah.
and like it looked really fun and like pretty in depth and stuff like that. But it's very limited selection. I would have liked to have seen more fighting like
It's the
Pokemon.
first iteration. I think they'll
Right.
get to it. Nintendo is pretty wise about making their stuff a serial brand each time, as long as it's successful and they figure out the formula that works.
So like, think about Pokemon Stadium and how awesome that was.
I was just gonna say. I remember
50.
I remember we used to say like when
that
Pokemon
was-
Stadium was around, like, what if you could be the Pokemon?
Yeah.
Years
That was
ago.
all from
The game.
All that data was
Yeah.
from the game that you had. So even
Yeah.
though it had, I guess it did have it had to have all the character models, and I don't know what I'm talking about.
The fighting wasn't obviously as in
You're right,
depth
you're
as
The animations were limited though. It was like
Yeah.
Charizard goes like this, and then you
Yeah.
can replace that for Ember or Fire. You know what I mean? It was
Right.
like
Right. There's a lot of recycled stuff.
Yes.
I'm thinking like with that, it's just N64.
Yeah.
But Pokken.
Pokken.
Pokken Tournament, I want to say.
Pokken.
Yeah.
It's just gonna
Graphics
be
look really
Pokemon
great.
Tournament when it comes out.
Yeah,
But
I love the whole because there is the 3D and the 2D duels you can do. So you can have it like traditional Pokemon where it is 2D like fight.
Well,
like,
no.
turn
So
for
what
turn.
happens is it's 3D, and once you start hitting each other close, it turns into two to like a flat
So
surface.
it's like
It's arena based. Then once you get close enough and start hitting each other, it turns into like a traditional fighting.
it'd be
game.
like Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm kind of thing.
Wait for the
But
2D
then-
mode.
but
it's
then
it's all one mode as far as I'm aware.
it's the same. So I feel like the battleground kind of if you,
No, because
if you
I've seen
separate,
gameplay of it, but there's two different modes. There's like the traditional 2D duel
Okay.
where not 2D, but like the turn base where it's like one person attacks and the other person attacks.
Oh, like there's the classic Pokemon.
Yeah.
Oh,
And there's also like the not Pokemon, like Smash Brothers, where it's just
Yeah,
like
side-
go and do your shit, try to time it right.
I didn't realize that it had like traditional Pokemon.
Yeah.
the game's already out.
Like-
we're behind.
Yeah,
yeah, but you see,
It looks
like,
cool.
let's go play. it
wait,
right
it's
now.
out now
Yeah, it's already.
Yeah.
It came out last week, I think.
in this country,
yes,
and it's called.
Pokken Tournament.
It's not actually even called Pokemon here.
No, it's
No.
Pokken.
Pokken
That's
Tournament.
wild.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the part that blows Sean's mind. We don't have a Pokemon fighting game. It's called Pokken.
name.
You see what doesn't work with it is the fact that how many Pokemon are in it? 20 maybe?
Yeah.
Tops. Yeah.
Tops, yeah.
So there's probably 10 considering Nintendo's track record. Like there's probably 10 Pokemon.
It was a little more than 10. But
Really?
it's like around 20. Yeah.
You think it's 20?
It's either like 16 or 24.
I bet it's
Like,
closer to 10 than 20.
Let's look it up.
I'm gonna Google
right
it.
after this.
You guys
Continue.
Yeah.
Yell at each other more, and I'll Google
The
it.
thing is, the whole basis around Pokemon is type advantage. So you have 10 Pokemon, it's like, oh, you're using a Charizard?
Exactly.
I'll use the only water Pokemon. You know,
Right,
it's
but
like,
in the game,
Are
it's
there
not like that.
weaknesses?
It's just
more
more
like,
like
yeah.
It's more about skill and just like whatever.
Timing.
Yeah.
it doesn't matter if you use a Blastoise against a
No,
Charizard.
No.
It's not
See,
like
but then that's
traditional
stupid.
Pokemon.
Yeah.
Like,
But it's the gameplay aspect of controlling a
a
Pokemon
fighting
and just
game,
like
though.
going
It's a,
crazy.
it's a fighting game. Yeah, it's a different. I agree.
Like Soul
It-
Calibur, but with Pokemon.
yeah, and it's not. It doesn't really fit
no
the
attack
world.
advantage.
No. Not that I'm aware of, at least.
No.
It'd be sick if there were like 50 Pokemon,
Dude, I'm
10 of
I'm with
each,
you. I'm
10
with
of
you.
each type. So then in like,
You make your 6 team, and then like you have to actually pull them out.
Yeah,
and,
Well,
like,
actually, there's like your. I'm going to say 20, just for say to.
Charizard, Pikachu Libre,
so
Machamp,
one Pikachu.
Gengar, Mewtwo, Shadow Mewtwo, Suicune, Sceptile, Blaziken, Gardevoir, Garchomp, Lucario, Weevil, Chandelure, and Braixen.
Okay, can you start over?
So it seemed like around like.
1, 2,
Don't count Pikachu
3,
twice.
4,
it's the same Pokemon.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14.
Closer to 10.
Not
Alright,
counting the
he's
doubles.
100% right.
Yeah.
I felt like there was more than that.
Yeah,
But there's
you know,
also.
like even Super Smash Bros. Like they have a ton of characters in it now.
Yeah.
They keep taking people out, and half the characters do the same thing.
There's some double characters
There's some
that are
cool
similar.
new. There's some.
There are like 6 Fire Emblem characters who all have the
They're
same
starting-
movesets, and like
Similar, yeah. They're very similar movesets, and they'll have like just a difference in their power or their style. So,
But
you know,
the
but
kind
it
of-
gives you the illusion of thinking that
it
there's
gives you
more
the
stuff,
illusion. Yeah.
but there's not.
I love
Same thing with the Pokken game. There's the 14 you said, the 14 Pokemon, but there's also 2 like sidekick Pokemon you can pick that aren't on that list, right? Like they're like the very small.
I looked at a
like-
playable characters list.
Okay, there's these. You can also pick 2 additional Pokemon that aren't on that list. They're like the very like small like worthless Pokemon that'll just like take
They
attack
come in
for
and,
like
like-
2
It's like a buff
2
or
rounds.
something.
Yeah. So I mean, but you're right. There is less, but the concept I think is cool. I like to see more.
I think it looks like fun. I don't think we should yell at it.
I'm still gonna
I
play
think-
it.
Yeah, Exactly.
If I had a Wii U, I'd totally play
I
that.
will not play it because I don't have.
It's just like they could have not put
They
that
could
out.
have fucking killed it.
Taken the time and killed it. Exactly. But this is going to be pretty mediocre that you'll play for like a week because you get tired of playing the same 5 Pokemon.
Well, it depends on how.
Because half of them you're not going to like.
It depends on how in depth it is. But how long do we play Super Smash Brothers the first?
Super Smash Brothers is like timeless though.
Years.
Yeah.
I still play Super Smash Bros. The first.
Exactly, and there's only
It could be
12
like-
characters, right? So
Yeah.
I mean, they're all fairly vastly different except for Mario and Luigi. You know, but that's kind of similar. Like Nintendo knows what they're doing. As much as it seems annoying when you critically like look at it and you're like, "What the heck?" But they sell crap all the time, and it tends to be fairly popular, and they'll bring it back again. So I mean, if it
Because
does
of the
really well,
handhelds.
and they're into DLC now, like you can get Cloud in Super Smash Brothers.
Yeah,
He's a downloadable
wild, which
character.
Which is awesome.
That's pretty
so
freaking cool. I actually booted up my DS again today. I'm like, I might buy Cloud, and then I was like, oh, I got system updates. I won't do that right now. It's like, I'm gonna
Maybe
go
I'll
to
pull
Billy's
my
house.
DS out.
I might have to
and
get
do
a
that.
DS.
Yeah,
I've
They're
thought
fun.
about it, yeah.
I play mine a lot.
Because they just released the Pokemon Blue, Red, and Yellow.
That John's
But like
playing.
remastered. Oh, did you get that? It
My most played game in the last month and a half is Pokemon Yellow.
was like $10, right?
Yep, $10.
But it's exactly the same. It's
they're
not
making
like-
exactly
they're
the
making
same.
10. Look at this. See what I mean? Nintendo
It's-
knows what they're doing. They're making $10 on a game that they built 20 years ago
Yeah.
The game is 10 megabytes.
with only 150.
Yeah.
Which is
with
so
only
cool.
150 Pokemon. in it.
Now, there's also new
crazy.
Moon and like Sun Pokemon
Yeah,
coming
coming
out.
out pretty soon.
Yeah.
That's November.
Oh, okay.
I haven't even finished.
I haven't played like
Yeah,
the
I haven't-
past couple generations at all.
You don't
and
need to.
No, you don't. You really don't. That's true.
It just makes me sad that you don't have to. I want that to be
I
crucial.
always feel like in order to complete a Pokemon game, at least for me, and then move on to the next one, is to beat the Elite Four. That's
Yes.
like my campaign mode. And I do that, I'm happy, I'm satisfied, I can go and catch other things when I have time and I feel like farting around in a Pokemon game. But I haven't done that. I didn't do
Yeah.
that.
Now I get your tweets.
I didn't do it in black
You
and
just
white.
got them?
And now
I've been
it all
live
makes sense.
tweeting my journey.
Now, I mean, I knew it was Pokemon related, but I didn't know you got the new ones. That makes sense now.
Yeah.
Okay.
I haven't. Yeah, I haven't beat the Elite Four in white. I didn't even make it through some little ice cave. I'm not even played it because I
haven't
that
played
game
any
is
of
bad.
those.
I was gonna maybe get
I
the
played
sequel
like
to
2
it. It
gyms
sucked.
of Black
Yeah.
when it first came out.
Yeah, I played
It was
Black
not a-
a little
that was
bit,
not a good
and
version.
I just didn't like it.
Kind of burned me a bit.
Is that the one in 11th grade with like the little tracker?
No,
That was-
no,
that was
Tracker
Soul
was
Silver.
Gold
That
and
was
Silver
the
remake,
best. Which
That
was amazing. John and I were going to visit colleges, and we would play like in the car, and our parents were just like, "We're literally going to visit colleges." And, we were playing Pokemon. And we'd be like, "Doesn't matter." And I remember your Electabuzz was killer. We had the best fights. Like,
I
we were
should've
so
hopped
neck and
on
neck.
that.
Yeah.
Remember in English class? That
I got
sub?
yelled at for having the Pokemon
For
Walker
high-five
thing.
your
Yeah,
Tom.
high five someone because we were like, "Yo, man, you got your Pokemon Walker?" And he was like, "Yeah, dude." I gave him a high five, and I got kicked out of the class. It was the only time I've gotten in trouble in like all of high school.
I remember you're like, "I'm sorry, but I just gave him a high five." Like it's all it was.
Yeah, I was like, "Can I just sit down?" Yeah, that was crazy.
That's funny.
We've been. When did Pokemon come out?
1996, 7?
Yeah,
I thought it was before that.
I think it was before
Well,
that too.
here, 6, 7.
Was it? Because I remember, I think Blue was the first one I got, and I was too young to even like understand the
I
concept.
mean, when I got Yellow and I was driving down to New Orleans playing Pokemon Yellow, and last week, and
driving and playing at the same time.
I texted,
It's just like this.
I texted my mom. I was like, "Hey, I just want to let you know, I am still playing the Pokemon game you bought me in 1997."
That's awesome.
I think that the best one that I had, like the best time with, was Gold and Silver.
Yeah.
I played Silver a lot more.
Those are my favorite too, and that's why playing the remake was so incredible because it
Yeah.
was like
It also added the Pokemon Yellow feature where you always had the Pokemon. You always have Pikachu behind you, right? As long
Which
as
I
you had him
love.
in the
That's
first-
a great-
As long as you had him in the first slot.
Right.
But it did it for every Pokemon in the roster in the game.
They followed you?
Yeah.
I remember that.
Any
It walked
Pokemon.
around behind
That's
you.
pretty cool.
It's amazing.
In the
It's
remix.
amazing.
In the remake,
In the
yeah.
remix.
Oh, okay, okay,
In
yeah.
the remake. Yeah, not in the original.
Okay, that's awesome.
The remake was
I-
sick.
I remember we went
So
to Ocean City, Maryland.
yeah.
We played that insane
The whole
down there.
time, yeah.
That and 007. We beat the game down there. Remember that?
Oh man,
We beat the original GoldenEye on the
I never beat that.
N64.
yeah.
I always played multiplayer. I never beat that game.
Yeah,
I went
it
back
was-
and played that.
It's horrible.
Yeah, maybe like a year or two ago, and
Yeah,
I'm
me
like,
too.
I don't have 2 sticks. How do I aim?
Yeah,
you literally
it
had to
was-
like stop, press the Z button.
Yeah, this-
and
Yeah. I played it in college. It's just
was
like
a
one night with a few
nightmare.
friends, and it was the worst thing I've ever done in my life. Yeah, the GoldenEye. I remember using
Game
a
did
calling
not age.
card on vacation with you to call my cousin and tell him I
Wow.
beat it. And that was in second grade.
Yeah.
wow.
tie
crazy.
in.
That's amazing.
Just to tie in a few more games. We've been talking about it on a few of the podcasts,
What?
but I think Skate 4 is finally coming out.
I'll be right back.
All right.
Bathroom break.
Okay,
ahead.
I think Skate 4 is finally coming out. Last month, I think it was the Australian Amazon
Okay.
linked
Oh,
something
Leaked
to
the
it.
thing? Okay.
Not linked, but like leaked like the
By
release
mistake.
date. Yeah, and then quickly got rid of it.
Ugh.
So that's good news for EA, not at E3 if they're not going to be there, but announcing a next gen skate.
I hope
Because that
that's good.
changed skateboarding games. While we're not really into skateboarding as much anymore, I feel
play
like
the crap out of
playing
it.
a new skate game would be
I almost
insane.
perfected Skate 1 as far as achievements go when I cared about trying to perfect games way back when, I had
It was
all the time in
it
the
was a
world.
perfect game.
Yeah.
Like
It just-
the art style was extremely realistic.
good
and unique.
music.
You actually used the
camera angles
thumbsticks
were
to do
awesome.
tricks, which made sense.
Yeah.
Like that was awesome.
It redefined like the control for like a motion action sports game. And I think it would only work with like skateboarding. I don't think that would work so much with you can maybe do it with a snowboarding game. I don't think you can do it with a BMX game.
The flips just feel so right.
Yeah.
The stick.
It's like you're doing what your foot would do.
It made sense. It's like this is what your lead foot would do. If you know anything about skateboarding, like how you do a kickflip, like the body movements you got to do, the footwork you got to do. Like it was like this makes sense. And then once you learned those mechanics, you were like, well, if I just do this,
New trick.
it did the thing that I wanted to do.
That was
It
8th
so
grade, I
cool.
believe.
Even though they had a
8th
trick
grade.
book, it
Was
was
it
fun to
really?
figure out.
Wow.
And those games were amazing.
I mean, I would still be so into just like a Tony Hawk that was good.
But it sucks.
But I don't. But it definitely didn't always like.
No.
I don't think that those older games are like a symptom of the times. Like I don't think that. Like if I went back and played Tony Hawk 3 or whatever, I think it'd still be fun.
Yeah.
So like, I just don't understand why they can't seem to recreate that magic. Like,
They tried because they put out the Pro Skater 5 a few months ago.
yeah, and no one cared.
And
was just-
it got horrible reviews because the game was glitchy and it was just horrible.
yeah, it's a shame.
You can buy it for like $20,
Wow.
which tells you how bad the sales did if they're trying to just get $20 for it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean the original Tony Hawk games were amazing, and then Skate single-handedly just destroyed Tony Hawk's life.
Well, didn't they release like a remastered Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2?
They did,
thing
and I heard that was like.
It was
was
on the
okay.
360.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I heard that was okay.
right, but Skate still just ruled it.
The thing about like the first time you showed me Skate and we played Skate, we played it here, like
the demo.
10 feet over there. Yeah.
I remember playing the demo with Justin for hours on
And
end.
you guys showed me like, well, this is how it works and this is how you play, and I was like, I don't understand this. This is annoying. Why can't I?
I
Just
remember at
have
the
my
Stroud
Tony
Mall,
Hawk?
we even did that before we had it.
Figured it out after about like 10 minutes of fiddling with it, and once you learned, it was like, oh, like this is awesome.
Yeah.
And then I didn't want anything else.
And it was just fun. Like
that's
you
just
did a
how-
board slide and landed it, and you were like, "Yo!"
You actually
which
had-
was like,
You can make
had
your own
to do
skate
the
tape.
stuff. It
Remember
wasn't
that? You
just
can like
like-
actually record yourself doing tricks.
It
and
wasn't
make your own tape.
just button input. It was actual manual control of what your character is doing, and it's like that's a cool experience. That I guess to some degree, if you can translate that to what we want from VR,
VR skate.
that would be crazy.
I'll be real bad at it.
So many broken ankles.
Well,
But
Tony
yeah.
Hawk tried doing that. Remember?
with Ride.
Right.
Yeah.
He had that actual skateboard that no one bought.
Yeah, couldn't
No one's
do
gonna
it.
buy that.
Couldn't do it.
Yeah.
But even Project 8 had that like make your own trick, like use the sticks
Yeah.
to do your thing.
Which was okay.
But it was hyper focused, and like I think that would have been awesome if Skate didn't come out at like the same time.
Yeah, they're
agree.
obviously
You know what
trying to.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
I
competing.
remember it was just like, kick your foot, let the board spin 80 times, and then try to land it, then fail, and then it was just.
Project 8 was pretty sick though. I did enjoy it.
I enjoyed Project
Yeah,
8.
I enjoyed that too. But
I didn't
Cruising
enjoy it
Ground
more
was
than
worse.
the trailer for the game, though.
Oh yeah,
The trailer was the sickest.
Clubfoot, man.
Clubfoot.
Oh, yeah.
that changed life for like a solid few months till the game came out. But
Slow-mo
Underground
kick
still
flipping.
is the best.
It's like I'm just watching this
great.
animated figure kickflip.
I lost my life in Tony Hawk
Cool.
Underground. Like I was fully immersed in that game. Just getting off your board at the time, which was like
It's like
unheard
one
of in
those
a
small
game.
things are just like, oh,
It turned a skateboarding game into just like a GTA. You can just walk around. You can get into cars even in that game.
Hit people with a skateboard.
Yeah, it was
so much
amazing.
fun.
I remember I would make multiple maps. Remember
Yeah.
that of like Philly and stuff like that. I would just make my own park because you can do that at the time. You can make your own missions, make your own goals. It was the greatest thing.
so much fun.
That was a great
So
game.
much fun.
You see, I didn't get into Tony Hawk until I met you guys. So when I finally played Tony Hawk, it was American Wasteland.
Whoa.
which was also
It was
for
pretty
a
good.
It was
first
fun.
for a first Tony Hawk game for myself.
Yeah.
Tony Hawk American Wasteland was awesome.
I remember
knowing the
having that
history,
in my backpack, going to hang out with you. I remember like showing you in Miss.
Hey man,
What was her name? Seventh grade.
Tony Hawk American Wasteland.
No. Hell was our seventh grade teacher's
man.
name?
No, that was 8th grade. Or was it 7th grade? I don't remember.
Oh damn, I don't know. But I remember like I can't remember her name at all.
Did we have 7th? I don't
We had
remember.
7th
I have
grade
no
together.
idea.
We had third,
Oh,
fifth, and seventh
was that
together.
Squindo?
Squindo. Yes. I remember just like, cause
What is that?
at the end of the day, we just like hang out and do nothing. I remember like having it in my pocket or in my backpack. But yeah, American Wasteland was pretty good.
No idea.
I even enjoyed the Underground 2 kind of aspect because it
I
was
didn't
more
like
like jazz,
Underground 2.
more like Jackass.
That got a little toony,
Yeah.
but I mean,
I liked it just because of the whole like Jackass integration with like
I think
the whole crew.
if the Underground 2 stuff came out before, like if 2 Underground, like 1 and 2 were swapped.
Oh,
My bad.
Swap.
If they were swapped. My bad. I'm sorry, but you're right.
Well, at least
Oh, come on.
did this happen last podcast?
It did happen.
It did.
last
Okay,
time.
so it was
Right at the
Did I
beginning, I'm
do
pretty
it,
sure.
or who did it?
I
You
think
did
I
it
did
last
it.
time. Oh,
Yeah,
so
I
you
did it.
all right, we're even now.
I'll get something.
Thank you, John.
think there's
If they were
paper towels in the
if
back.
they were swapped in like when they came out, it wouldn't have been a huge deal. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I know.
Like the tuniness, I think I would have been okay with, and then like a couple years later, whatever.
Yeah.
I made a mess. Here, let me clean up. 'Cause I
Just keep talking. Fucked it up.
all right. So, anyways, yeah, if they were swapped, it would have been fine. I would have been on board with Tony Hawk Underground 2 if it were 1.
Yeah.
And I would
I
like it
see what you're
better,
saying.
But you always loved that, like, because Bam was like the
thing.
front runner
You had so many
for.
T-shirts. Bam.
Yeah, I still have a few of those CKY and Hardergram t-shirts.
Nice.
What's funny is he hangs around Westchester bars all the time.
That's awesome.
So I'm gonna go down there one weekend. It's gonna go to the bar with Emily, and he's just gonna be there.
What's his band?
And you're gonna
What's
be
his
like,
band's
yo,
name?
you inspired me to make
Yeah,
dumb
I'm-
videos, and he's gonna be like, you and every other fucker.
Fuckface Unstoppable is his band's
Still
name.
the funniest name.
I don't know if he's still in it, but that used to be his band's name like 2 years ago. It was like a very hardcore bad version of just everything.
Yeah.
Ugh,
But yeah,
terrible.
a huge influence on my life and what I'm doing now with YouTube. As weird as it is, to
Very
believe.
unrelated, but yeah,
Yeah.
spawn something.
But in terms of games, like, admittedly, I don't want to admit it, but I'm just not like into it as much anymore.
Same.
Like, I'll play FIFA with Tim like every now and then because me and him just go at it in FIFA. That's what we do. And but like in terms of just like sitting down, like waiting for a game to come out, and, like being hyped for it and playing it, I can't do it anymore. I tried playing Black Ops 3 story mode last week.
Yeah.
And I was just playing it. I'm like, this is just the worst thing ever.
out.
Like, this is not fun.
I'm out of Call of Duty games.
I don't mind the online to that as much, but like, there's just no game where I'm like mentally and physically invested in, where I want to just
Physically.
lose my life. And yes,
No, I agree. I miss that so much. I miss
Yeah.
that immersion and just today I was literally just looking up like stuff on an iPad about Final Fantasy 11 because I miss like that addiction and I miss like feeling like I was a part of something, you know, like in terms of video games. Sorry, no, it's not that. No, we're good. I've got a lot of good things going for me right now. But like, no, in terms of
build a hospital.
in terms of games, like I feel like I'm just like, yeah, I don't know. Like I'll sit there for a minute. Like I loaded up The Witcher 3 the other day, which I really enjoy.
I do want to play that.
And played it for 5 minutes. Was in the middle of a quest that I couldn't remember how I started it,
Yeah.
and then was just like, I'm just gonna shut this off. And then
It's overwhelming.
it is, and it's just like
I think that's the
Nothing's
adult
sucking me in anymore.
sometimes. Like we're at a point now, like in our development as like people and adults in like our day-to-day lives. It's like we understand what like I don't know, like a rational approach to things and a practical approach. And I don't want to say like we're jaded against our video games.
No.
and
Well, now we have shit to do.
but it's like
I feel guilty after
it's-
playing like too long.
it's that, but it's like we don't want to sit down and take time to do it. Like you
Right.
don't feel like you feel like I,
I
don't know,
feel like
it's not
we should
wasting
play.
time.
Like
but-
what a difference it would be if like The Witcher for someone like us, where we get on like I haven't played Witcher in a long time, and I would love to hop back on Witcher because it's beautiful.
Yeah, it's a great game.
yeah.
But how great would it be for us if it was like you hopped on Witcher, and since you hadn't been on in a day or two, you're just in your home sitting by a fire, and you have to restart your quests. So it's like a buffer.
It'd be such a pain at the same time. It'd be like for the same reason that
if
you
you
mentioned
hadn't
before.
played in in a week. Let's say it's a week time that it resets your recent quests.
Yeah.
So the beginning to the first checkpoint.
Maybe
you're not in the middle of it.
Yeah, I take the option.
So then it's like you don't feel like you're hopping in and you're overwhelmed. Like, what was I doing? It's like you were literally doing nothing. You were sitting in your home drinking a beer. Now pick something you want to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There was something that Pokemon did in one iteration of it. I don't remember what it was, but if you didn't play for a while and you saved your game and then you turned your game back on, it's like, you haven't played in like this many days or whatever, or this day. It's like, this is what you did. And it'll show you like 10 frames of what you were doing.
Animal Crossing.
It worked for me every time. I was like, oh yeah, I remember. I was trying to go catch this guy in this cave or whatever it was. I was like, that makes sense.
Yeah,
if they could show you that in a game now, that might be cool.
Well, a lot of the times now, very similar to what Billy said, is not only will I just forget what I'm doing in the quest, I'll forget the controls of the game. So it's like, well, I don't want to play
I've been doing
anymore.
that a lot more lately, but not so much because of like not playing for a while. But I'm playing a variety of games.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Like, I'll have the mindset of another game.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I'm done. I don't want to do this.
It's the worst when I go from Smite, because Smite is a third-person MOBA, and then I'll go to play like Shadow of Mordor or The Division, and it's like they're not like they're controls that are like mapped similarly enough to each other in like how your player moves and stuff like that, where it's like I'll try to aim down sights, but now I end up just like doing my basic attack. I was like, oops, wrong. So, but that gets frustrating sometimes. It's like you forget how to play the game for like 20 seconds.
Yeah. 2 games that I want to quickly talk about. Black Desert Online.
What the hell is that?
It's I talked about it in like our group chat. You like try to go like
What did I?
yeah.
Oops.
It's
only play AAA games, and I only play them for about 30 minutes. So.
it's like I think it's Japanese. I don't know if it's Japanese.
That's
or not,
accurate,
but
though.
Black Desert.
It's Black Desert Online. It is very similar to Final Fantasy XI,
Oh yes.
but it has like an insane
Give me
character
that. Give me
creation.
that.
I just
And it's a huge MMORPG. It just came to America finally. I would love to just buy that and just be that person who dies from playing a game for like 48 hours straight in a cafe. Like, there's that story of people who do that. I would just love to
Emily
just sink
Phil.
my life into a game for how many days, just forget about everything else.
We'll look
And
at
a game
See if
called
we can-
Paragon.
Oh yeah.
That looks amazing.
Paragon's awesome.
And I don't play MOBAs.
I've heard of that.
I don't play that kind of stuff, but I would love to just sink my
Is that the
life
one
into
by
it.
Cliffy B.
Yeah. All right. Oh shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've heard of that
Just
one.
Like,
It looks beautiful. It seemed like a good time playing it.
yeah.
I would love to just sink my life into
That's
a
the
new
thing
game.
is like all these MOBAs that have been like free to play, and I think probably the 2 top MOBAs right now, even though it probably sounds cliche, but like Dota feels the most polished, and League of Legends, they pay attention to their games all the time. It feels like a solid, like it could be a AAA game without, it's free, So some of the other ones like Smite doesn't quite feel like AAA, maybe like AAA minus,
Now,
but it's free.
Overwatch.
Yeah,
Is that a MOBA?
that is.
I feel like it's kind of like a first-person RPG blend of a MOBA.
Yeah,
right?
it's first person shooter, so I think it's along the lines of like a towered. I haven't played it, so this is just from me looking at it. It looks like it's like you get the Team Fortress elements of like class based stuff,
Yeah.
right? The RPG elements of having like certain skills or MOBAs or whatever, that kind of thing. You're in an arena kind of area. I'm not sure if there's lanes or what. I think there's different game modes as well. But then it also has like the tower defense sort of aspect as well.
Yeah, it's a good blend.
MOBAs sort of have like a tower defense thing built in as well with the whole lane system. So yes, I guess it'd be like a MOBA shooter kind of thing.
Because there was that
which is
commercial
interesting.
for it when we went to see Star Wars,
Yeah.
and I've heard good things about the game, and
Which
it's
I
like
didn't
James
expect to
from
see in a
Funhouse.
movie.
That's his one of his favorite games he always talks about and
apparently
plays.
they love playing that. So.
But I don't know. I just want to find a game that I'm as excited as I was 5 years ago.
Same.
The last game that I was hyped for, I think, was Skyrim,
yeah.
and that was almost 5 years ago.
2011.
And, like-
11/11/11.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
With the midnight
remember
release.
that came out right before Thanksgiving break when we were freshman year of college.
Oh, yeah.
And I had pre-ordered it, and
My
that's all
whole
I could
friends
think
list.
about.
My whole friends list was Skyrim all the time.
It was amazing.
And I never bought it.
Me and my roommate rearranged our room and our bed setup so we can just lay in bed and play Skyrim.
You're the
Like,
worst.
true story.
This is awesome.
And it was an amazing game. That's the last game I think I actually truly gave a shit about.
Okay.
Battlefield
Battlefield's always good.
3 was kind of along the same lines of that. But 4, I was kind of pumped. I was pumped for it because it was the new generation of games, like Xbox One. Kind of a letdown at first. And I think Destiny kind of killed it for me because I was really pumped for that.
Yeah.
I didn't get to play it as much
needed
because
to
like
spend-
my college schedule, so that
need
kind of
to
took me
spend-
out of it.
yeah.
And since then, I just haven't really been
Need
pumped.
to spend time in Destiny. Destiny is like
But-
very light MMO sort of like.
I want to play it
instance-based.
more.
I really enjoy
But-
Destiny. It's good game.
If you weren't into grinding for stuff after a while, like Destiny, like vanilla Destiny in the beginning was just like, it's tough.
I mean, that's what I
It was
played.
just annoying. Yeah, it was just annoying. Taken King, after a year, streamlined all those processes. There's a lot of things that I was talking about with friends and other community members because I was involved with like a couple people that were kind of like high on the list. I would chat with and be like, what if they did these things? What if they did those things? And it was like, oh, okay, yeah, maybe. And then like Taken King, they would later do them. Like for instance, like turning your legendary marks into the ability to buy, crafting materials and that kind of stuff. Because you'd sit there with, Crucible marks and Vanguard marks in your inventory that did nothing. I was like, why do we have these two different sets of things? Let's just make it all the same. They did that. Let's be able to buy crafting materials so I can do stuff. Cool. Why are all these armor materials different for each class? That's dumb. They're all the same now. Like, so there's a ton of things that they did that like really fixed it. And I think all that stuff was just put in to make it seem like there was more content, which it was unnecessary.
I feel like if you started playing it now for the first time, it would be great.
It's amazing.
But, like,
I got Tyler into it, and he
got
still plays
addicted.
all the time.
You guys stayed up for like a full 24 hours.
Oh, okay,
and, like,
we
maxed
played,
it.
but that was the other thing too, is because we played all of the Destiny Year 1 content. We played for like 36 hours straight so we could catch him up before the release of the Taken King on Tuesday.
Okay.
So we played all the Year 1 stuff, which you were able to do by the time all those patches and stuff were out, including the DLCs, everything. We completed it at least once, and got him up to level 30. Got him some gear. Taken King came out, and everything we did was obsolete. but that's mobile.
But it was fun.
Yeah,
I
that's
couldn't tell you
MMOs
the
though.
last thing I did.
I was like, Tyler,
level
prepare
I
to be
am.
mad. He's like, why? And he picks up like a blue gun. It's better than his legendary. He's like, oh! I'm like, yeah. Yep.
You see, like, so what line is that crossing? Where it's like, oh, they're updating Destiny and it's more fun to play, but like, it's more fun to play because now it's just, it's child. It's easy.
Well, it's not as easy. It's like they do stuff that makes sense now. Like,
That's another game
It was
that came out, I
streamlining.
think, before
Yeah.
it should have been.
Yeah. So then it's like streamlining, so it's no longer this abstract MMO first person shooter.
yeah, well, it's all the
It's-
grindy, annoying stuff that like you're playing the game without a certain reward. Like you used to have to run around the open world areas and pick up spin metal to like upgrade
it was
your
a
gun.
pain,
That was annoying.
but it was an MMO, so that's what you do. Now it's
Kind
just
of,
like
yeah,
you
now
play
it's-
Crucible, you get points, you
Yeah.
buy new stuff, so
But
it's
you
no
can-
different than
you can
Halo
do those-
multiplayer.
Yeah, but you can do those things in WoW or any other kind of MMO like that anyway. There's still rewards for doing quests and playing like the heart of the game is what I want to call it. If it's a lighter MMO, it shouldn't have this like crazy like let's sit around and walk, like listen to a podcast while I grind for 20
Walk
minutes
in-
on stuff.
in circles to pick up
on
spirit
like a streamlined
blossoms.
run and user community. Like it creates a community of people that are dedicated and like, yeah, cool. Now we're communicating and talking and working together to do this. But when the heart of your game, you're doing your strikes and your raids, when that doesn't yield any like results anymore, what's the point? Like you go through those again so you can collect all the weapons and stuff that are available for that. Awesome. Now I need to upgrade those things. That means I no longer have to do something cooler than a raid. I got to run around in circles twiddling my thumbs like while I'm
Waste
trying to
10
upgrade
hours.
these legendary weapons. So it's like if I get them, I should play the game to be able to get experience to upgrade it. And then with that experience, I can also get, materials for completing certain objectives. Even if it's just a little bit here and there, that's fine. Because not everybody has the time to grind. That's why it's a lighter MMO. People that play WoW, like almost strictly play WoW,
Right.
That's a large portion of their
It just
time.
really took away the open world. Not that I didn't enjoy grinding in
Yeah,
Destiny.
I
I
didn't
did
either.
it and I hated it.
Same. I'll put on
But that was the
podcast.
only reason you were ever in the open world.
Yeah.
If you weren't in a strike or a crucible playlist,
Yeah.
you were grinding in the open world.
Yeah.
So now that you don't have to do that, it's not an open world MMO anymore.
I feel
you
like
just
they
you
need-
just hop into a playlist and play a certain game type.
They would need world bosses, which they sort of had, but it was very like, oh, it's time. This is the event that this guy comes and shows up. It's like, that's not cool. Like, there's
Yeah.
nothing random or like fun. Just kind of like
I never got to that point.
all procedural. Yeah, that's what. Yeah. So
That was just bad timing for me. But.
And it's strange because I played a lot of Destiny and I really like Destiny, but I hate everything about Destiny. Like I love playing the game,
it's a good game.
but I just don't agree with like all the different viewpoints on it.
You probably
It's
like the Division.
The grinding was awful, and now
Grinding
that
was
the
bad.
grinding's gone, now it's just a Halo playlist game. I like it.
I see
like
what you're
don't get me wrong. I really enjoy.
Super fun to play.
Super fun. Awesome. Love the different classes. Think it's super cool. But it's like you can't market it as an MMO.
Yeah.
And then they marketed it as an MMO, and I guess it kind of was. But then all you would do is run circles and grind. And now it's still marketed like that, but it's not that at all. You're just hopping into a playlist and hopping into a PvP.
Yep.
That's all it is. There's nothing else to the game.
But I mean, these are also the guys that made Halo, you know, and they know like what a lot of people do because there's different communities that play Destiny. You have your hardcore co-op guys who just want to, you know, do their strikes. They don't want to touch like the PvP really. They want to grind out for the gear. They want to deck out their guy. They want to hit max light level. And then you have the guys that don't really want to do any of that. They don't want to grind for the materials. They just want to be able to play Crucible and still get rewards that way as well. So you know, it's a balancing act of how do we please kind of everybody in a fair way that you still have to play enough of the game, but really focus on what you want to do individually.
There just needs to be a reason for there to be an open world. And there isn't one now. There is an open world, but it's...
Which is, I guess, if we want to move into it, why the Division is pretty cool.
Yes, let's please, because I haven't played it yet and I want to hear about it.
The reason why I like the open world of the Division is because there's all these collectible pieces, and this is the first time I've collected like anything like to completion in a game in like a long time, since like Assassin's Creed like 2 probably, where those pieces of intel actually tell you kind of interactive stories, or like they help you live and fit the environment. So they're actually really interesting. They don't necessarily pertain to the story, but they build the world, which is awesome. I feel like a lot of collectible stuff in open world games doesn't really do that. Like GTA, like, oh, I'm going to go and collect all these things. You're flying under all these bridges. I'm like, why? It's annoying. Like, I don't want to do that. Like, I'll see a bridge and I'll fly under it. Oh, I did that 10 times already because it's in a common area. I'm not going to fly like all the way up to Albuquerque to fly under this tiny bridge I'm never going to see again because the city's not over there, you know? But yeah, it's especially the echoes or these things where it's like you walk over to it, your little gear watch thing analyzes the area, and it kind of rebuilds this scenario based on like, I guess what would be like data from like former security cameras and whatever else was there, evidence, kind of like it rebuilds like what happened digitally, like right around you. It's sort of like an AR experience for your character. And then it'll play back like, I don't know, voice actors doing something. And then you just kind of got to like think of what's going on. So all those little stories are really, really cool. And
is there a story mode?
Yeah.
Did you beat the story mode?
Yep. That's how you primarily level, is doing the story mode and the side quests and these little tiny like they're not side missions because they don't necessarily have a goal, because they don't tell you to go get a boss or whatever, but it'll be like just kind of little grindy missions that'll give you experience called encounters, and there's different kinds. And what those do is they give you points to build up your what's called the base of operations. So there's 3 different wings to that, which are all related to your tech spec, which is the RPG element of your Division character. So you have your medic, you have your tech, and you have your security. So medic obviously heals people, that kind of thing, different specs along that. You have your tech, usually either throws out like a turret or these little like I call them roly-polies. So they're these little like roly bombs that do stuff. Or you have your security guy, which is sort of like your tanky defender. He can have like a riot shield, or he can make all the cover around you, give you like a damage buff or something like that. And all that, like, so you do those encounters, you build up your points, you build up your base, hit rank 30, and there you go. Now you're grinding for gear in what's called the Dark Zone, which is the PvP area, and it's awesome.
Okay. I don't mean to cut you off, but we got a blinky red light.
Okay.
Because our memory card's getting kind of low.
Okay.
Which means around 145 minutes of podcast.
No, man.
An hour and
I was thinking we were pushing 45. But yeah, I mean, we can try to do this again sometime soon. We can talk about the Division again sometime. Yeah. But just before this cuts off randomly, thank you guys for watching. Random Frank P.
Andy.
Billy.
John.
I'll put all the Twitter links and like stuff that we talked about, references in the description down below. Probably timestamps. I always say I will, but I never do. So who knows? You're probably not even watching at this point. But all right, guys. Thank you very much for watching episode 4 of Random Radio Show.
I can't believe it's only 4.
Yeah, we'll do more eventually.
Yeah.
All right. I gotta piss. See you later.